Hello and welcome. Can everybody hear me? I hope so. Hope you can all hear me. You can't see me though, Liette. Let me fix that. Welcome. Oh, you still can't see me. I was gonna actually be on camera, and then I realized that my backdrop, my green screen is not rolled down all the way, so you would kind of break the illusion that I have a cool background behind me. But you know who does have a cool background, literally and figuratively? Morgan.
It's my kitchen.
It's cool. It's a cool kitchen. You look.
Thank you.
I bet it's pretty cozy, and you got some tasty food come in there. You know what I mean? So,
it's very cozy.
welcome, and then welcome to Bob, who's also got a good background, just not literally right now. So
I have a very interesting backstory. We don't have time to get into that right now, but my background has weapons in it, so I don't want to get YouTube on our case.
Well, no, I mean, it would just kind of take over the whole conversation though if we started talking about weapons and violence and stuff. You know how we leftists are, right?
Yeah. I mean, the first step to meeting my spouse was winning a sword fight with my bare hands. So,
well, I mean, you know, it's not to debunk anything because I kind of feel like that's there's literally a guy with his name in his name. He does that very well on a regular basis.
Mr. Eric, yeah, he's a good debunker,
and he's been covering this, but this is more just like, I guess, I guess it could be our serve as a debunk, sure, because I'm going to present some facts here, and if somebody's actually receptive to, a more objective version of reality, not to say it is the objective reality, because what is that? But a much more fact-based perspective than what they typically get, then maybe we could debunk some things. But I mean, this is basically looking at a couple of factoids and then presenting the idea that maybe you are in an algorithm silo. You know what I mean?
You might be in a silo, yeah.
Yeah, and I did just get back literally an hour or so ago from seeing the Odyssey.
So how woke was it? Are you just like poisoned with wokeness now?
And the trans man was Odysseus, right? That was who that was.
The trans man is the main character, and his love interest is the black woman, and they kill Odysseus and take over the story. It's brilliant.
Like, honestly, in a stage play, that's probably a thing someone would do, and it would get good reviews.
It sounds like something that would be made up as like a joke, but also it's kind of telling on their internal fears from the anti-woke crowd.
Right.
I want to speak directly to today. I don't normally do that, but I do want to speak somewhat directly to those people because, hey, how's it going? I'm Dane.
You are Dane.
From such channels as Actual Fandom, which is just this channel with a different name. You might not like me. That's fine. I don't care.
I don't like you.
Most people don't. It's a strikingly common.
That guy. Dane's the worst.
But people you don't like can say true things. I don't know if you know that.
It's been known to happen.
And also people that you don't like say untrue things, like JD Vance. Nobody likes JD Vance. Anyway,
not even JD Vance.
Man, he really shit the bed on Joe Rogan. It's like, we'll get to the main topic, but I got to vent about this. I guess not vent, but gloat maybe. But so I've been fascinated, like I've said, with his tightrope that he's walking right now of can't throw the administration or the man under the bus, but you also want to set the stage for running in 2028. You know what I mean? What does that look like whenever such a nakedly, fucking obviously, dishonest and fucking calculated scumbag as him? What does that look like when he does that? Right? It doesn't work well. He's falling off the tightrope, is what I'm saying. You went on Joe Rogan the other day to
prove it.
Well, it's just two guys talking about stuff on a podcast. That's all it is.
I'm sure.
Broing down. Never mind the fact that one of them has literally had Peter Thiel, who is, all throughout the goddamn Epstein files, and literally was a fan of him. And then Epstein apparently encouraged Peter Thiel to get involved with political activism, which is what he.
Oh, fun.
So then, what does that make what does that make JD Vance? Because here's a guy who's just saying, the conspiracies. Yeah, I'm into the conspiracies too, bro. But like, there's nothing about this administration. We weren't trying to hide anything. It's like, okay, JD Vance was literally fucking put on the path to where he's at right now by Peter Thiel, who was literally put on the path
by Jeffrey Epstein.
So maybe you don't. I don't know. Conflict of interest. That's what I'm saying.
Just a smidgy, like just a little conflict of interest as a treat. right? Like, just as a treat.
It's crazy. So yeah, that's pretty funny. And then the details, maybe we can get into that later if we have enough
Sure.
time. I don't know.
Is this the interview where they talk about the 10 Commandments?
Oh, which one? The JD Vance and Joe Rogan?
And Joe Rogan talk about the 10 Commandments, because
I
here's
haven't
two
watched the whole thing
motherfuckers.
because who can be bothered to watch an entire episode of that shit? But I've seen.
I
I've not seen
saw
that clip.
something about it on YouTube when I got up and went, I'm not dealing with that. And
No,
then went
I
about
didn't.
my day.
I haven't seen that. If somebody can tell me if that's accurate or not, I'd like to kind of watch
Let me
that.
see if I can. I can probably find it on YouTube wherever I saw it. But go ahead and do your thing. I'll
Cool.
I'll do the deep dive.
So I'm just trying to collect a couple of video clips that I have, and something weird is going on with my download folder. Like I can see that the thing has been downloaded, but then whenever I open it up via StreamYard, it's not visible. And it was doing the last night too, and I don't understand why this is happening.
I blame StreamYard.
They always blame StreamYard.
It's
It
got to
just
be
seems like
StreamYard,
that.
right? That's the different factor here.
They probably changed something again and didn't tell anyone.
Yeah,
Oh,
they added a new feature that makes it so you can't find the file you're trying to share on stream. That's pretty convenient. Thanks for the help, guys.
Unironically, they would sell that as like a new feature.
Stop fixing things, StreamYard. God damn it.
Brand new upload security.
Have you ever uploaded videos and played them on stream you didn't mean to? I mean, no, not really.
Okay, here
Well, we fixed it. I said no. God damn it. No.
Yeah, we fixed it. It doesn't work. It's fixed now.
I've got a different idea of how to do this. Let me see. So if I go to the thing via my downloader, and then I go to my recent files on my PC, perhaps it's easily found that way. Anyway, what's going on with you guys? So who all seen this Odyssey film? I think it's a new franchise. Anybody seen it?
Yeah, it's a brand new IP, fresh from before the Common Era Productions.
Yeah,
I believe it was written by Homer Simpson.
Yes.
So it's like a spin-off of The Simpsons, like an
Sure,
in-universe
okay.
book that Homer wrote.
sounds right. Sounds right.
I've seen. Like I said earlier, I just saw it literally like 2 hours ago. I got out
Moments ago. Yeah, he's
mere
still
moments ago.
He's still glowing.
And
It disgusts me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do the shared screen thing, I guess, even though it's frustrating to have to go that route. That's okay. So I feel like that's the one that kind of messes up my screen sometimes when I use it.
Sure.
But well, whatever. And this is tangentially, I mean, it's really just about Christopher Nolan and something he said in an interview that I just found while I was before I got on screen here. It's just kind of neat to see him say this. He's winning right now in my mind.
I think AI is a Trojan horse that everybody knows the Greeks are inside. Well, the funny thing with AI, and I think it's actually pretty fascinating to see how in the last few years it's sort of taken over the Wall Street and the world of business and investment. I've never seen a technology advancing so rapidly, so completely rejected by the public. Everybody's suspicion of it is so into the extreme, particularly young people. The reactions of AI videos online, and people my children's age immediately calling it AI slop and coining that term, and just putting it in a box, which I think is a very healthy skepticism, because technology is always going to give us great gifts, as you say, but it has to be viewed with skepticism. The motives of the people giving it also have to be viewed with skepticism. That's when we'll get the best out of a new technology, rather than just blind faith that everything's going to be great. And it's actually pretty encouraging to see young people in particular being so suspicious of it.
The horse in the Odyssey, of course, is meant to be a surprise, but the simple fact that we're saying that AI is maybe a horse shows that
completely. It's a transparent horse. It's made of glass. Everybody can see what's going on inside.
I like how he's like, it's definitely a Trojan horse, and the host is like, it's maybe, and he's like, no, it is. It is that.
Yeah, the host is obviously a shill for some AI company somewhere.
Yep.
He's got a Kalshi ad like ready to queue up.
Oh my God! I saw that they're allowing on the fucking betting apps or whatever. They are allowing people to vote on wildfires now.
Yeah,
that seems like that's going to turn out really well.
They let people bet on anything.
Yeah, that's
I know,
dope.
but just like there should be limits, man. I mean, there just shouldn't. Jesus Christ, fires really?
Limits in this economy? Are you kidding?
You're right. It's true.
The guy who set up the podium for Trump's speech this week got caught out making $100,000 betting on what Trump was going to say in the speech.
I thought it was the teleprompter, not the podium.
Okay. I think
Wait,
they're
Am
integrated.
I wrong?
That
Okay.
really happened? Holy shit!
Yeah.
Well, the story I heard was it was the
it was the teleprompter. Guy.
teleprompter. So
Yeah.
the guy who's controlling what Trump says was betting on what Trump would say.
Trump would say, yeah.
What do you mean controlling what he says? I mean, I'm sure that if you just put up some random shit on there, Trump wouldn't just say it, right?
Of course not. He is
No.
the freest free
He's-
thinker in the world.
We're literally describing a scene from Anchorman.
He's free of thought. Is that
So
the same thing?
was it gay? I think no matter what, it was not gay enough to be
No.
historically accurate.
No.
Bob,
Yeah, I was gonna ask, do you want the cheeky answer or the real answer?
did I take the cheeky
Sure.
answer from you?
Yes, you did. The real answer is that it is an extremely heteronormative movie. Like
Mhm.
the original poem is not that gay, honestly, but I mean,
Well, but
it's the
we're
ancient
talking about-
Greeks.
Well, the people are saying they want it to be historically accurate, which never mind the fact that there's no historical fact within this story. But if we're going to talk about when it was written, sure, let's get all this gay stuff that the Greeks were up to,
Which was a lot.
which wasn't even gay. It was just a thing some people did. It was like, whatever, we're Greek, this is what we do.
Yeah, it's fine.
Sure, but the point of the story, like the story itself, the original poem, is not the gayest thing
No.
from ancient Greek culture. The movie, and this is what's ironic about all of the discourse around this movie and all the chud freakouts, is that the movie we got is very culturally, I don't want to say culturally conservative, but it's like white heteronormative. It's a white heteronormative story about a guy trying to get back to his wife.
It's very Hollywood.
It's very Hollywood nuclear family.
Yeah.
There are non-white characters in the story, but none of them are the main characters. And so it's the whole 1960s vision of diversity, where it's always a white guy in charge,
Right.
and the white guy's story is always centered, but the peripheral characters can be gay or black or a woman or something like that. That's what's going on.
Technically a token, because I know that Helen of Troy obviously plays a pretty pivotal role. So it's not like
Nope.
No, not really.
No, she's a side character.
She does not play a pivotal role in the Odyssey, the poem, actually. In fact, I would say she has a bigger role in the movie than she has in the poem.
Wow.
But her role in the movie is not, like, it's literally her speaking time. I clocked it. It's literally less than a minute.
Yeah.
As the character Helen of Troy.
And
But
she plays an important role in the story, narratively speaking, but her screen time is so small that they had to also cast her as Helen's sister Clytemnestra, the wife of Agamemnon. And even then, she's on screen for less than like 5 minutes total.
Oh my
the whole
God!
movie,
Wow.
out of a 3-hour movie.
Well, so that's kind of what I was going to say. That's what I was trying to say, is that token is literally the easiest way to describe it is if you remove this character from the thing, does the story stay the same? And so, in that regard, like if she's only in it for a minute as Helen of Troy, I think that still would you'd have to do something to adapt that, right?
She plays an important thematic role in Odysseus's character arc, or not Odysseus's character arc, excuse me, Telemachus's character arc, in the movie. That is also in the poem, but in the movie,
poem, yeah.
In the movie, she's
poem, oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, in the poem, she kind of explains to Odysseus' son what the Trojan War was.
Right.
She's an exposition.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil the movie too much.
Right.
But
yeah.
in the movie, most of that exposition is told through a flashback, but it's Menelaus telling Telemachus what happened inside the Trojan horse.
Sure.
So they take the most important thing that Helen does in the poem and they give most of it to her husband.
Oh, you can't. Oh,
I thought that this was better for women in terms of you know.
Well, in terms of a Christopher Nolan film,
Okay.
I
Yeah, in
would say
terms of
this
a
is the best
Christopher
Christopher Nolan has ever treated female characters, simply because there's more than one female character in this
Mhm.
movie, which is not typical for a Christopher Nolan film. So none of the female characters have to be the sole representative of their entire gender, and they can
Right.
each have different character traits.
But he cast
But
the same woman as two characters.
Wow.
I think that was probably like a budgetary thing, because
Sure.
Lupita Nyong'o is a big name,
Mhm.
and
Fair.
it probably cost a lot of money to get her, so they had to give her a minimum amount of screen time.
Well, yeah,
Sure.
that's something I want to address real quick in terms of all this stuff is the cast of so Birdman in his video the other day did a great job pointing out that so they based on the idea that the Academy Awards now have guidelines for basically if you want to be considered for an award, you have to include a certain level of, and it's very specific on how much the floor of what you need to include in your film to be considered, and it specifically lays out one or like two of these four categories, and then but you can do all of it without casting at all. You can have really just straight white people, straight white men, and the whole thing, cis straight white men, but as long as you have those things in the crew, then it's still
it
effective.
counts. Yeah.
And so Nerdrotic and these guys Nerdrotic and these other guys saying this basically they're of course, as I told Birdman in the comments of his video, that Nerdrotic would say something like, well, they didn't have to do it, but he wanted the woke clout, is probably what he would say to cope with that. You don't get the woke clout if people can't see the diversity, right? Anyway, so but
is the diversity in the room with us right now, or
so let me just play this quick video to set up everything we're going to say after this, because it's hold on, I gotta share the screen, all this stuff. It's very frustrating. Here we go.
The Odyssey is proving everyone wrong and breaking records at the box office. In its opening day previews alone, it made $17.6 million, which is, yes, the highest of any movie to come out this year. And then on Friday, its official opening day, it opened up to $50 million domestically, which is the fourth highest ever for an R-rated movie, which is absolutely insane. And now we know that the movie's projected to make around $120 million domestically in its opening weekend, which would be higher than movies like Michael, which went on to make $1 billion. It is slightly below Toy Story 5's opening, though. Now this movie has a real chance of making over $1 billion because it's going to have over $200 million globally in its opening weekend. Plus, we know the reviews for this film and the word of mouth are insane. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has well over a 90% from verified critics and audience members. It also received an A Cinema score, which is the survey of just general audience members when they walk out of a film on opening night. Just, oh, did you like the movie? Did it meet your expectations? This is a great score to have. And this movie is already selling out IMAX theaters months in advance. This is a theater in September that already has this many tickets sold, which is absolutely insane.
So there's that. The movie is doing extremely well. It's Christopher Nolan's, I don't know if you said this just now, but Christopher Nolan's best opening weekend, period.
that's wild.
That includes
I would argue it's his best film ever.
Yeah,
At least I have not seen all of his movies, but of the ones I have seen, this is the best one he's ever made, in my opinion.
I mean, it's to the point where chuds are moving the goalposts as they do, and they're now focusing on it's boring. Literally, Nerdrotic's most recent, I think, the thumbnail says boring, and other chuds, I think, was it Yellowfash said it's boring or whatever, and it's like, man, that is not what y'all were saying this whole time. So anybody that shows up here and that's going to be your go-to knee-jerk, well, it's boring. Like, okay, sure.
Is it boring because we already knew the end of the thousands-year-old poem, or what? Why is it boring?
I can see an actual, unfortunately, I can't take these people seriously if they say that. But if like one of you told me I thought it was boring, I'd be like, oh, okay, and I would take that seriously as your experience because I can see it being the kind of movie that, attention spans being what they are these days, notwithstanding, if somebody might not have the as I've said. As we've all said, these things are subjective. They're not an objective thing. So somebody might just like a movie that has more things happening more frequently or something.
Right.
And what I understand, this movie takes plenty of time to, set up characterization and tone and stuff before the action sequences and whatnot. And that's cool. I'm sure I'm going to like it a lot. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. And that's not what they were saying all this time. They were
No.
saying because it's got Elliot Page, because it's got Lupita Nyong'o, and I guess what, a couple of other, tertiary characters that maybe aren't white or something.
Mhm.
That
I
it was
think is who plays Calypso, Bob?
Charlize Theron.
Oh, okay. So they got a white woman to play Calypso. Okay.
interesting.
Mhm. They got a white woman to play Calypso. They got a white woman to play Penelope. They got a white woman to play Cersei or Kirky, depending on which language you're pronouncing it in.
Right.
They got there's a white woman playing a slave girl in the house of Penelope and Odysseus. And then there's Lupita
shocked.
Nyong'o.
I'm shocked the usual suspects haven't made noise about that yet.
Well, so I mean, and if you listen to Nerdrotic lie on Piers Morgan about what the reason that he gets upset, because it's not racism that they focus on Lupita Nyong'o more than anything else, and it's not transphobia or anything that they focus on Elliot Page. No, that's just because it's not accurate, or it's not it's changed, whatever. They the claims are that he was saying on Piers Morgan that it's the hypocrisy. It's the hypocrisy, which doesn't even make any sense. It's moving the goalpost based on the platform he's on, which is crazy. But yeah. By the way, thank you for sending me that link. I did just download that video so we can check that out maybe later.
Cool beans.
So I do want to answer this question from Jay Kung. The answer is yes, and it's one of the best sequences in the movie. It's like straight up body horror. And
Yes.
Christopher Nolan has a bright future in the horror genre if he wants to go that direction based on that. That was the biggest surprise for me, is that this movie, because it's a Christopher Nolan film, I expected it to downplay the fantantastical and mythological elements.
Yeah.
And he turned it up to 11 and turned it
Just
a lot of it
cranks
into,
it
into horror.
Because that should be horror, right? That moment, I don't think there's another movie where it's played up for it's more fantastical and more weird rather than the body horror of what happens in that. I feel weird talking about spoilers for this because it's the
it does
Odyssey.
change some things. It changes some things, but
yeah,
the creature design of the Cyclops is unnerving to look at. Like the facial structure is just weird as hell to look at.
That's cool.
Love it.
And it also has Scylla and Charybdis in it. Scylla and Charybdis. And Scylla is monstrous, right? So I expected all of that to be downplayed because Christopher Nolan likes to make so-called grounded movies. But nope, he was like, okay, this is weird. We're going to make it weird. We're going to make it so weird that you're a little bit scared of it. And it was great.
Because I think that's the correct way to do it, if there's such a thing.
So I want to go back because this is something that these anti-woke grifters, they thrive on short attention span and short memory. If people more often recalled the things they actually said and the things that they allowed themselves to get riled up about well, I mean, maybe that's happening. Maybe that's why their numbers have tanked so much in the last couple of years. But I want to just remind everybody what they were saying about this movie prior to the release. You got thumbnails
2 days ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say moments ago.
Let's see. Oh shit, where is it? I had it a minute ago, a while ago. Now they're missing. Where'd they go? I had some thumbnails somewhere, but yeah, they're basically every thumbnail I saw for a while was about, for one thing, they're really proud of tanking the apparently allegedly the downvotes on that one specific trailer that they managed to send everybody to.
But they're objective movie critics who they're not motivated actors.
No.
Whatsoever.
Are we talking about the Helen of Detroit style thumbnails?
No, I'm talking about specifically these, the ones that have big thumbs down.
Oh, okay.
What do you think that is? What is the goal of everybody getting on message at the same time and showing how tragic and how sad it is that oh look, there's a trans man and there's a black woman, so now that's got the downvotes. What is the point of that? What do you think?
Probably that they don't like trans people and black people.
I mean, in terms of like what they're trying to do, what are they trying to accomplish with this movie and that message, right?
They're trying to say that a project with those demographics playing characters in the movie will tank the movie.
Yeah.
No matter how small the role is.
They're trying to manufacture an outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Using not even dog whistles.
That's not even a dog whistle. That's just saying it out loud.
How old is this thumbnail?
Yeah. Things that have aged poorly.
What?
Like literally, how old is it? Just like from today or yesterday, or you don't know?
No, it's a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Because this has not aged well.
Nope.
96% critic score, 97% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Last time I looked.
That's what I'm saying. The reality of how this thing turned out couldn't be further from what they were saying, right?
So they're going to do one of several things that we've seen them all do before. Number one, they're just going to forget they ever said anything bad about it, and they're going to praise the movie, and they're going to go back and edit their thumbnails and video titles to try to make it look like they never said anything bad. Number two, they're going to say, but it's long and boring.
Right.
Nobody actually likes it. Number three, they're going to say anyone who does like it is a paid shill. Or number four, they're going to say, oh, look how much it ruined Supergirl.
Right.
Or some other movie that they're going to put it up against.
Yeah. They will never, ever, ever say, I was wrong about this.
Never.
And that's crazy. It's, literally insanity. It's insanity that anybody that watches them on a regular basis doesn't just recognize it. Or maybe they do. Maybe they just don't care. It's, it's something about, I saw a guy making a case one time that like Trump's voters, a lot of them just know that he lies and they don't care. And which, really clears up a lot for me, because I was like, for a long time, I'm like, how do they not recognize? Like some of them do. They just don't give a shit. Some of them like it that he lies, I think. They like.
It's a flex. Yep. It's a flex for them. That's what they care about. I do want to mention Agamemnon, because this image has a shot of Agamemnon's helmet.
Yeah.
Like the use of Agamemnon in this movie is almost comedic in how it's his role in the movie is basically to aura farm and helmet mog, and he's like helmet maxing for the whole. You never see his face. He's just this looming giant with
big fucking helmet,
really ominous looking Batman helmet. It's really funny. I've seen it described as
what's racist about this thumbnail. Come on, guys! Like, you're so sensitive, woke, sensitive snowflakes. Jesus Christ! Everything's racist, right? Just everything's racist to you. I guess.
Just these guys.
You take a like some completely unknown, random, seemingly African woman with and put a KFC hat on her and call it Helen of Detroit, and that's supposed to be racist to you? Come on.
That's not also a random African woman. I think that is the pirate character from that.
Oh my God! Really?
The Tom Hanks movie. I think it's a Tom Hanks movie. It's based on a true story where Somali pirates took over a ship, and it's the guy who says, "I am captain now."
Yeah. Well, because I've seen him saying like, "I'm Helen of Detroit now," and it's like, how many ways can you say you're racist in like one statement? It's kind of crazy, almost impressive, but not really. Film Threat's pretty bad about it. Like, I know that they were the first ones I saw had a reaction that downplayed their all of their coverage prior to. They got out of there, and they're basically just like, it's so long, and everybody talks modern, like, it's so weird people talking modern or whatever. And it's like, okay, so why not wait till the film comes out and then criticize it based on that choice? That's a choice that was made, and that's something that maybe some people won't like. It's a new thing, to a degree, especially for like a big giant budget movie. Sure, criticize that, but what about all this other stuff, this other shit that you really focused on?
Yeah, that's just them. That's the take of a person who went in looking for reasons to hate it because they're incentivized to hate it by the algorithm, and their audience wants them to hate it, and they didn't actually find anything that they thought was going to be wrong. Like, they had a list of a bullet point of things that they predicted would be wrong with the movie, and none of those came true.
Right.
So they scrape the bottom of the barrel to find any little thing to nitpick.
It's pretty sad. Pretty sad, you know.
Don't these guys all defend one of their number who just has like 12-hour podcasts?
Yeah.
And they just anyone who criticizes it just like, oh, the long show is bad or the long man bad or whatever it is.
Well, I mean, they
is that one of their things? So like the length of something shouldn't bother these people, right?
When it comes to being long man, Mahler has nothing on Homer.
Well, no, nobody does.
True.
Nobody does.
Insert GIF of Homer retreating into the bushes. Right? Doe. Am I right, guys? You know what I'm saying. Anyway, so I want to ask something here. First, I
may even have an answer.
Download the file, which I thought I already did, and things are fucking me up right now. Okay, so also real quick, an aside. Did you hear who's going to be in Man of Tomorrow?
No.
Lots of people.
Well, the cast is really getting pretty stacked. So Supergirl is going to be in it. I think that was been known.
We knew that.
Makes sense.
This
Ooh.
Yeah.
The same exact Blue Beetle that they talk about it. Remember a couple years ago?
Don't remind me.
Jolo Marguenia. Yeah.
Did bad. It was a bad movie. Nobody liked it. Weird.
I would argue that wasn't a bad movie. It performed poorly, but I enjoyed it.
I was saying their perspective on it, not mine.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know. I still haven't seen it. Actually.
It was a movie that featured Hispanic American people. Of course, they think it's a bad movie. It doesn't matter.
And then they spend like a couple hours on a podcast making all kinds of just fucking gross, like bottom barrel, not even funny, racism jokes. And then whenever people are like, oh, they're being racist because they said talk about it in the thumbnail. It's like, I literally used that in a stream title the other day. It's not racist. It's not racist to simply say, let's talk about it because they eat and talk about tacos. And plus I'm referencing them saying it in the first place. The thing that's racist about that stream that they did that got so much attention, and they kept on mining that this whole time, is all of the other jokes around the Taco Bout thing. Like that, I can't remember any of them because I just tend to purge those things from my mind when I encounter them. But I remember them being pretty fucking stupid. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm a perfect guy, that you can't maybe make me chuckle if you use the right wordplay regarding some racial element of something. It happens sometimes. Okay, that was not what that was, but like this just goes to show, in my opinion, because fans like this movie. People that saw it generally liked this movie a lot. A lot of people were pretty excited about it, and I remember people expressing it's kind of tragic in a way that was going to be the end of, or whatever, that version of the DCU before James Gunn started taking over officially or whatever.
Right.
I didn't feel that because I did see most of the Flash, so but yeah, it's
well, I think there's some level of I don't want to say genius, but like using your resources accordingly, with using this actor and this character again, because so fans broadly liked it. It didn't perform well at the box office. Well, okay, great. You cast him in the movie, cool. And then if he's liked in the movie, then people will go back and watch the other movie, and that keeps people in your environment.
Yeah.
Which is what they all want these days. They want people on their streaming services.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just go ahead, I'm sorry.
The Blue Beetle movie is kind of like Supergirl in that it did not perform well, but most of the people who actually saw it seem to have liked it very much.
Yep.
And they particularly liked the actor who was playing the main character in both of those movies. So the studio will want to bring them back. Maybe not they'll never get a movie of their own again, but they're going to be a team player in all the ensemble pieces, I'm sure.
Right. Which makes a lot of sense.
Let's see. So here's a couple more things that I forgot that I actually had to download to reference, but
oopsies.
So I'm going to credit this to Ryan, Nothing But Media, but I second this. We can expect probably Monday, Tuesday, the Critical Drinker will have a positive review about the Odyssey.
Yep.
Because his pals over Daily Wire. Ben Shapiro, I guess he's desperate enough to, he's not doing so well. But
what is the and he has to call out Zendaya and Lupita specifically?
yes.
Oh, okay, my guy.
Yeah, he calls out Elliot, Zendaya.
Calls out. Yep.
You have to, because that's the algorithm bait, right?
That's the bait, yeah.
And that's, to the point of what I'm trying to say here. Like, at what point do you recognize that you maybe have, like, studies have been done? They don't even hide it. Like, people that, that run these social media websites and stuff, they've talked about that this is what these algorithms do. Facebook is facing $1 trillion lawsuit right now for a bunch of, like, class action lawsuit of kids being addicted and having some varying degrees of fucking actual harm come to them because of the way the algorithm is intentionally designed to hook you based on outrage and fucking bullshit. And at a certain point it is kind of just a survival thing to go, okay, yeah, I maybe need to step away from this and recognize that I got a little hoodwinked, right?
Like I logged onto Facebook in the first time in forever a while ago to find contact information for a friend of mine. And at the top of my feed was an Aaron Reed article that I hadn't seen yet.
Oh.
And so I just clicked on it. And then I got the information I was looking for and then just started clicking out of it. I didn't close the tab right away. I probably just should have. But the next thing it showed me was libs of TikTok. It's just here, oh, you clicked on that. Here's the thing that will bait you into interacting. Oh, cool. Cool.
Because it doesn't care, it does care. It cares. It's not going to
click.
For anybody that's not aware, Aaron Reed is a trans activist writer who, has gone.
He's a journalist, yeah.
Pretty incredible resources and sources for information. So just to think that anybody that's going to read that would want to go, I need to check out and see what libs of TikTok is up to. Get the other side of this perspective.
Yeah.
The other side of the
it's supposed to get you to engage with that art, with the libs of TikTok post.
Yep. No, that's true. Yeah, I didn't think about it like that.
Also, crazy thing, after I saw that, I scrolled through my feed just as a science experiment because now I was curious.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I was on Facebook, it was 30 to 40% ads and posts from pages you didn't follow, and then
it's bad.
a lot, and then the rest was people you followed or groups you were in. This was it took me a couple minutes of scrolling to see one thing from a group I was in or a person I was following. It's unusable.
Have you seen? Remember, I brought it on stream one time. I think it was one of the last Fapcasts we did where I brought some examples that I'd seen on there. Of these stories that these random seeming pages put out, and they're promoted and boosted pages, stories or whatever, and it's Stephen Colbert interviewed Pam Bondi, on CBS.
Just fake shit.
And it's it got an AI generated photo there, but at a first glance, I was like, whoa, he did? That's weird. And then you start reading it, it's
nope.
It's fucking obviously AI slop written shit. He's the audience drew silent. You couldn't hear, and then he said the one thing that nobody expected him to say, that kind of shit. And it's what the fuck? And it had a lot of engagement. And those were
right.
a lot of those. And this is an account that I have that I don't use for anything except for grabbing photos that are on Facebook, because you can't just grab those from Google searches. They'll be all fuzzy and low res. So you have to go to Facebook with that photo. And that's what I use it for. And it's started showing me this stuff. And it's very clearly meant to, bait libs. It's lib shit.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to read that and go, oh, Stephen Colbert is so brave. And,
Stephen Colbert is retired.
Right. Well, but he did this on CBS primetime, no, it's all bullshit. There were several stories like that just unbelievable.
Well, the good news is that you can train that algorithm to show you things that you want to see if you mess with it enough. Like on Instagram, which is also Meta, I've basically got it showing me nothing but muscle mommy content, and
I was gonna say the finest of muscle mommies,
and animal welfare stuff, right? Just because I made deliberate choices a couple days in a row of what to glue my eyeballs to, and now the algorithm thinks I'm a muscle mommy who loves animals.
Nice.
Well, you are. I didn't
Yep.
know. I don't
In
know
our
if you knew
hearts,
that.
you are.
True, and it's not wrong.
So, and this is just kind of a funny thing here. This is a conversation I guess Bob was having, other Bob Chaos. And so Bob had said, like, why would we want to know what people who haven't seen the movie think? Because they were talking about all of the front-loaded negative versus backlash, the pre-backlash, the preview or whatever. And this guy said, why should the opinions of people who choose not to spend be censored? Seems like both consumers and studios might be interested in why they lost a sale. First of all, that's not what censorship is. Second of all, we know that you're Alpha Eagle, Rebel Eagle. We know that. Okay.
We know you're Tony Beers.
Know your name is Tony.
Hey, Tony. Hi. How are you, Tony? I'm sure you're watching because you always are.
He doesn't. I'm really disappointed because, like, if you go look at his channel, he's covered, like the showcast several times, and basically the last, I don't know, half dozen or more times, he doesn't include me in the thumbnail. He doesn't include me in the title, and I think it might be, maybe because I do stuff like this every time I encounter him, where I'm like, oh, there he is.
You say his name, yeah. Who's Tony?
Yeah,
Or it's that, or it might be because you haven't been making clips out of your live streams for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he never actually watched the full live streams. He just watched the clips that you guys made out of them. That's another possibility too.
He is very clippable because he's that.
But I choose the first explanation. But there is an alternative narrative to consider. Yeah.
Counterfactual, yeah.
There's another question I want to answer here too. I don't know what chinchilla show you're referring to.
It's a Bluey knockoff.
Unironically,
come in and talk about that is the case.
The SpongeBob SquarePants movie is literally an adaptation of the Odyssey, and a pretty darn good one.
That still won't get me to watch SpongeBob. What's up?
You both talked at once.
Yep.
Sorry. Isn't the movie "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" also that?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
It is what the Coen brothers remembered from the Odyssey from when they were in high school. Is how they have described it in interviews, which is wonderful. Because that should be how you retell the Odyssey.
And somebody asked earlier, so Bob, like you said that it's unsettling to look at the Cyclops in the movie. Does that mean did they put a lot of makeup on James Marsden or what?
They left the makeup off of James Marsden and his single eye, and they reveal that he has one eye. A lot of people don't know this about James Marsden, but he actually only has one eye in the center of his forehead, which was why he was cast as Cyclops in the X-Men. And
the special effect
been
adding the second eye when it.
Yes,
that's some real DEI. We got a real Cyclops to play Cyclops.
You want to know what real DEI is?
No, I don't.
No, I mean, I don't know that this would have followed with that setup, but so you heard Pete Hegseth, old
yeah, my gender affirming care buddy.
Well, he's saying, look, we're going to do some testosterone tests in the military to make sure that you're man enough to be in our fighting forces, Department of War and stuff, right? Never mind the fact that testosterone is something that can change hourly. In your system, it makes no sense to do, especially if they're just doing one test. That's completely asinine, and there's probably going to be a lot of people that lose their position in the military because of this, to some degree, and sucks to be them, I guess. But it's just another anti-science thing, right? Like there's your testosterone levels can change based on what you've eaten, how much you've slept, things like that.
Yeah, the exercise you've done recently, all sorts of things. Your hormone levels change throughout the day.
You do look like this.
Oh,
I hope this is real. Really hope.
Is it
been verified?
I think so. Yes. I mean, as far as I've seen a couple of sources that I wouldn't think would just blast this out there if it was AI bullshit or whatever. But maybe do like it says in the bottom and trust no one.
See, I think there is a universe because we live in the universe where emo Pete Hegseth discovered beer and turned out the way he did. In the universe, he discovered weed first. Different guy. Like this guy, it's that meme with the Yu-Gi-Oh card that has the forked road on it to the stormy castle and the bright colorful one. It's that, but it's Pete Hegseth with beer and weed.
It's like this makes me think that you know, at this point he was like getting into like The Cure and you know, stuff like that, and he's like, I'm you know what, I'm gonna be a performer for sure. I'm gonna like to perform, like to get out there and you know, express myself or whatever. And then like somebody made fun of him one time. Like he went to school like this on picture days, like the first day. He was like, from eyeliner today, and I'm gonna do my hair, and he gets there and somebody fucking laughed at him, and he's like, never again, and just started pounding brewskis. And you know, that's my headcanon.
Yeah, I think that's just canon.
Yeah.
Green Day Pete is canon. I have to imagine, like, if you showed this picture to the guys in Green Day, they may kill themselves. Or go back in time and try and, like, do something about it. Like,
I mean, depending on what year this is, it might not be there. It might be more like you know, Blink-182's fault or something, you know?
oh, true.
He's about my age, I think.
He's 40-something. Yeah, he's like 6, 7 years older than me.
Could be Green Day, could be, you know, I don't think it's My Chemical Romance. He's a little bit too old for that, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But you know, somebody's responsible, god damn it. And, you know, we they owe us. Anyway, that's pretty fucking funny. It just goes to show how much of this shit is literally just projection and, you know, coping to cover up their own insecure feelings about specific things. You know, to the degree that I feel like, you know, in some cases it's obvious. You know, Ryan Kennel's clearly a fucking racist, like a through and through to his bones. He is a anti-black scumbag idiot, right?
Oh, for sure.
And then
you know who else is? So this guy's new on my radar, but I'm fascinated by him now. It's Angry Badger.
Oh yeah,
I saw him on a couple of the videos that Eric, or one of the videos that Eric made yesterday, or released yesterday, or the day before, where it's a panel discussion of the Odyssey, where Robert Meyer Burnett, of all people, schools the entire panel. And one of the people on it is a guy called Angry Badger, who was basically delivering white supremacist revisionist history talking points.
Oh my god.
And getting increasingly, like, visibly neck vein poppingly mad at Robert Meyer Burnett for saying, hey, haven't you ever noticed how geographically close to Africa Greece is?
Just like map facts, just like,
that is pretty funny.
So I'm gonna like start investigating that guy's content on the down low, and like, because he was really like having a conniption fit. It was pretty funny to watch him cope.
God, imagine getting owned by a map that hard.
Pretty crazy.
No one has been owned by geography that hard since Napoleon. Fucking hell.
Robert Meyer Burnett is straight up. You know, he's just one of the most disgusting, openly, gleefully, you know, gross Zionists I've ever seen. You know, most
of them, not a great guy.
No, I mean, but like in every other context, well, not every, but I mean, in many other contexts, he's more reasonable. It took me a long time to clock him as like actually say like, yeah, he's a chud, and it took the Zionism thing to really say it, because he was, you know, he wouldn't always go after, you know, stuff for Star Trek. Sometimes he would say it was pretty good or whatever. But like, yeah, I feel like he waded in the you know, kind of kiddie pool of chudism for a couple of years, and then he went on over there. But
isn't he like long-term friends with Chris Gore?
I think so.
I would assume so.
To collaborate on things?
They have the same exact trajectory, more or less, as far as like what they're doing, because they both had kind of secondary, or not, like they worked in and around Hollywood a little bit, you know. So like Robert Meyer Burnett, I believe, is the one that's part of the Superman Lives documentary
thing. Yeah.
Like, you know, he's there's pictures of him on set with Bryan Singer. Not a great, by the way, he's had Bryan Singer on his channel in the last
he's not great.
Yikes.
Ooh.
I think he's also associated with Star Trek in some way, like
yes,
technical manual side things.
Yep, I think he worked on maybe Blu-ray release or something like that. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong there, but like, you know, and Chris Gore's similar in that in fact I was just showing my son this documentary. It's free on, I think it's free on YouTube. Maybe not. Maybe I bought it. But there's a documentary about the Ren and Stimpy show called Happy Happy Joy Joy.
Huh.
And it's if you haven't ever learned about that show but you liked it as a kid, watch it because it's fucking great to learn about. And kind of frustrating to learn about the creator being a piece of shit. But guess who popped up in that talking about it? Chris Gore.
Chris Gore.
And so I mean, he's somebody that used to be seen as a kind of an expert, cultural expert that would go to him on stuff, and he did that. What was it? Attack of the Show DVD version or
something? Yeah,
the DVD
some
release.
G4 thing back in the day.
Yeah. So I think that those guys in particular are guys that, like a lot of them, they're it's usually either somebody, one of three things, I think, maybe more. Let me know if I miss one. Somebody who has worked in the industry to some degree, and then for whatever reason is no longer doing that. Maybe they just aren't somebody that is as good as other people. Maybe they just had a bad stroke of luck or something like that. Or an alternate version of that is somebody that's been quote unquote canceled, as in held accountable for doing something that harmed people in the industry.
Right.
And so they're no longer, getting work in that field. Or somebody like, Eric July, who just never was even good enough to have a shot at working in that industry. So they become fucking media grifters. It's an entitlement disease, I think.
Oh, okay. Nina Einstein chimes in with the Chris Gore history. He was on Attack of the Show on Tuesdays, where he would promote what new DVDs were coming out that week. Thank you, Nina. Also, that image is horrifying, and I know what it's from. And keep her away from tables.
Oh my god. Is that
Chris Gore was also involved.
Oh, go ahead.
He was also involved in the People versus George Lucas documentary, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So he was one of the original rage baiters around Star Wars.
He did a whole funeral for Star Wars long before Disney owned it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is kind of weird because he's talked about it a whole lot for being a dead thing that he didn't like.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, like, and this is why I've said before numerous times on your various shows that nobody hating Star Wars more than Star Wars fans.
Well,
yeah. But anyway, if you want to get some entertaining content out of watching Robert Meyer Burnett, the Zionist troll, fact-mogging a bunch of people who are worse than him, go watch that video by Eric Debunks. Because don't watch the original video, but the video where Eric watches that video and comments on it is hilarious.
Oh boy. I'll have to check that out when I'm done here.
That's like I was trying to think of something to compare that to. That's like watching a Tanky beat up a Nazi. It's like, you guys are both fucking awful, but good job, Tanky. Like, I'm glad you came out on top
a Zionist fascist versus a Nazi.
Right. Yes. It's like a Zionist versus just a classic.
It's almost exactly what it was, actually.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, okay. Well, you if I have to pick one of you to win, I guess it's you, buddy. Congratulations.
Yeah. Like in any other context, I hope the worst for you, but like, kudos.
In this one, I'm rooting for you.
I'm not going to buy you a beer, but I might throw a cup of water at you.
I might give you a salute. I might just raise the glass to you.
So whoa, this is something somebody sent me, and it's kind of notable that her previous 3 videos over the last 2 days. So you guys remember this whole Tenet situation?
I do.
Nolan movie that sucks and I hate it.
The Tenet Media thing.
Tenet Media thing, yes. What was the name of that was the head of this whole scam?
Lauren Chen.
And she was, believe she was banned off of YouTube. Right.
I don't know if she was banned off of YouTube or the Tenet Media channel was taken down. I forget the specifics.
I feel like she was kicked off of YouTube. Pretty sure. And
for a while, yeah, she took her show to Rumble, where they let you do anything.
They let you do anything, yeah.
I all the social media here, this seems to be just her back on YouTube.
And she's making videos about the Odyssey.
Her previous 3 videos are the last 2 days, and why is that? Do you think she really cares about this that much? Nope, of course not. She's farming for clips.
Wait, does that thumbnail say Elliot Page's gay animal documentary?
Yeah, I mean, look,
that's what it says.
at least she's using the proper, identifiers and stuff. Like,
She's not dead naming him. Yeah, AI slop thumbnails. Take a drink.
yep.
Jumping on the latest thing. Yep.
Imagine making a video that says the media caught lying and being Lauren Shin.
Yeah, imagine the audacity.
What a fucking crazy. There's more of that Nolan farming.
Yep. Well, she just like, how far have you fallen? How far? Look at you go. Oh, Supergirl video. We got a Supergirl video.
Yep.
Wow, she's just hitting the classics. Yeah, she's just a fucking pop culture war grifter.
That's what you'd have to do to kind of build yourself back up, right? Like you'd have to just kind of go with the known, the stuff that works, right?
I guess so. Get you back in the algo. Oh my God. Lauren, I expected better of you. Not like morally, but like creatively.
Right. Well, I mean, look, if this is her official channel, okay, it seems to only have less than 9,000 subscribers. Barely got more than my channel.
So where's our Russia Today money? Come on, Pootie. Hook a gal up.
Look, a bot has decided to try one of these types of things where they're like, oh, I'm pretending to care about sexism and also going to contort something you've said into being about sexism because you were criticizing a woman, so therefore you're sexist, right, bot?
Okay, your opinion is noted and rejected. I don't care.
Indeed. That's another thing I was going to say about these the algorithm. It's not just the algorithm. It is clear. It is obvious that so much of the shit that that kind of the narrative pushing about these narratives has to do with bots and false engagement, fake accounts, fucking inorganic astroturfing bullshit. It has to be. It simply has to be because, I don't know. There's just no way that nobody's out here promoting Critical Drinkers movies, for example, and except for there's no actual engagement happening. And I like to think that, whenever he puts something out and there's not really any response to it, that was surprising to him. I like to think that. Yeah. Who knows? And it's in, I
feel like Russia's like, we kind of got screwed on that deal.
They kind of fucked up on that one. They got a little sloppy, I think. Got a little too excited.
Also right, lazy, just like real low effort guys. I expect better.
So I have a challenge here. I'd like to present. Hold on, let me find the image here. Okay. So the title of the stream is Odyssey, the Anti-Woke Baby, and You.
Okay. Well, I know what the Odyssey is. I know what I am. I don't know what the Anti-Woke Baby is.
This is a book. It's a children's book, apparently. Okay, context is that there is apparently a line of books called Woke Baby, Anti-Racist Baby, Anti-Fascist Baby, and never mind the fact that like there's probably more subtle ways to teach kids about these things, but okay, whatever.
Sure.
It's not, I guess.
Is it Woke Baby or is it Woke Baby?
No, it's Woke Baby, like a woke baby.
Oh, okay.
And they, they're just kind of packaged and marketed like your typical, small children's book.
Sure.
And then there's the Anti-Woke Baby.
The Anti-Woke Baby. Wow, that's
It's a book you can buy if you wanted to, but I mean, my question is this satire?
Okay. Can I ask some like pre-questions?
Sure.
Okay. Does when you know the author, like who wrote this?
Henry Rogers, is illustrations by Victoria Yakesh.
Okay.
No Googling. That's cheating.
I'm not Googling. I will show my hands. I will show off my nails. You can all see my nails, so you know that I'm not Googling.
I'm gonna grab some images from the other ones just so you can see like what the
Okay, yeah, if you could compare the series that this book is placing itself as a part of.
So here
Because
is
my gut tells me they're serious just because subtlety is dead. Yeah, this is someone trying to make their knockoff anti-woke version.
I think you're right.
Bet.
I think you're right.
Bet in.
I just was, and here's where we're veering out of woke territory now. This is all me. This is not Bob or Morgan, but like looking at that cover that we were looking at there, the white one looks developmentally disabled. I'm sorry. It just does.
Okay. I don't know. Like I have
judge
no...
me how you want to. I'm just saying that like it's not there's the black one sitting there, he's like, hi, I'm a little baby, and then the Asian one's like, I'm a baby too, and the other one's just like, hey, I don't know.
It is a little more emotive. That's fair.
I mean, I'll also point out that it seems perfectly happy there. I don't know why it would be a bad thing to have these three babies together, if that's what it's trying to suggest. I don't know. But it's kind of funny, I think. All right, only me. Well, I only think it's funny, and Jen a little bit.
I guess I'm just like I don't know.
It's fine. I'll take it.
Well, since Morgan voted that it is satire.
No, I'm voting that it's not. That it's
not okay. I will take the opposite stand and say yes, it is.
Okay, all right.
Therefore, the panel is split, and we have to go investigate now.
We've got to investigate it now. Yeah.
So
now, can I Google?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm looking at Henry Rogers' bibliography prior to this, and I mean, I don't know if this is accurate because this is on novelmemphis.com. I don't even know what that is, but a bunch of addresses about, I don't know, really, really dusty old man stuff. And then that book.
It's got 6 reviews on Amazon. Let's go check them out.
Yep.
I mean, the name Henry Rogers is so generic. There could be multiple authors with that name.
True. So it is 26 pages. The path to truth begins at birth if we wish to see more freedom spread throughout the earth. Here you'll find 9 steps to help you on your way and see tomorrow as a brighter, more prosperous, purpose-driven day. Anti-Woke Baby helps facilitate conversations between readers of all ages.
The back of the book is an American flag, so yeah, I'm thinking this is. So the reviews, 1-star review, it's bait. Rage bait title.
So here's a 1-star review on Amazon from LaShawn.
Yeah.
What's with the rage bait title? The cover of this book shows babies of different races sitting together, which effectively represents diversity, which is 1/3 of, quote, woke tenets. To me, the author doesn't comprehend that being woke is good and promotes the understanding we all look different and can achieve a lot, but that some people need a little more help than others. In a thoughtful, caring society, those with power can and should sacrifice to support those that need help. If this is too much to ask, then the society has failed. So based on that review, I'm saying if it is satire, then it's so thick that somebody didn't catch it. I don't know.
Well, and the next review from a verified purchaser, beautifully illustrated book instead of the ubiquitous CGI art most picture books feature nowadays.
That's not a thing.
With a really great message of freedom, liberty, and true justice for all. Here, your color is visible because hello, colorblind society doesn't literally mean blind, but immutable traits are incidental and really irrelevant. Okay.
So it's either
stands up to the fascista.
Yeah, it not only stands up against the factious identity politics of the woke left, but also the wolf, as in the name wolf, W-O-L-E, in sheep's clothing, identitarian flank. Yes, they're just as bad. Okay, no, not really. Identitarian meaning far right.
Yeah,
actually, that's not just as bad. It's much, much worse. as the diversity mentioned by the Fraulein below, I don't know who that references, maybe another review. This important book champions diversity of thought. Okay, so right there. This is something you see a lot, the whole idea that, diversity of thought, diversity, blah, blah. That's what people mean when they talk about diversity of background and race and stuff too. Because where do you think diverse thought comes from? Truly diverse thought comes from diverse experiences, diverse backgrounds, diverse, experiences walking through the same society. That's how you learn things that you might not have ever considered because you're stuck in your own perspective. It's so weird that they try to divorce this idea of diversity of thought from just diversity because they're one and the same.
Well, that would be too not racist for them.
Yeah, true.
So what we've learned is that this is either not satire or such an effective satire that we can't really tell that it's satire.
So it's a book written in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Get up and stretch.
Of these times that we live in, it's
yep.
How can anybody really tell anymore?
I'm trying to just look and see who this guy's referencing with the Fraulein. I feel like he's maybe trying to indicate there's a Nazi that left a review, but I don't.
I don't know.
But that does bring me to something that I've looked at before that I wanted to point out, and maybe it's worth pointing out on a regular basis to people that cover this stuff on a regular basis. So, the one thing that chuds, these grifters thrive on, one of the things they thrive on is convincing people, like they're doing whenever they're all on message about the thumbs down of the video or the trailer, whatever. Oh, it looks like, and then the infamously Ryan Kennel, and they all say this. Nobody wants this. Nobody likes this. Everybody hates it. Blah, blah, blah. That's all to set the tone to socially shame anybody who might be interested or who might have seen it or whatever and think that
or liked it. Yeah, to shut up.
It's a way to socially shame people who are insecure about their social status and feel the need for people to see them as part of the in crowd. And that's sad on its own. But
that is, yeah.
They do this with comic books. They do this with movies. And if you go look at Amazon reviews for like a comic book, it's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I typically will look at the reviews of whenever I end up getting stuff from through what you call it, comics, not Comixology, Kindle. I'll look at some reviews sometimes, and I'll see something like Captain Marvel or Ms. Marvel or whatever, and there'll be glowing reviews about this thing, and lots of them. You know what I mean? And then, yeah, sure, you'll every once in a while some chud finds their way to that, and they, drop their fucking half thought review in there. But I mean, for the most part, you go look at almost anything that's like not specifically catering to the anti-woke crowd, you're going to find lots of people that praise pretty much. I mean, unless it's something that's just really, really bad, and
right, which happens, yeah.
And that's a good way to get outside of your algorithm silo. I think a good way to get some perspective on things. And nobody's telling you that you have to like the thing too. By the way,
right? Like just to circle back to the Odyssey. I am sure the Odyssey is a good movie, and I'll probably see it in the next couple of weeks. But I'm also not gonna set aside time to do it, because I've read the poem a couple of times. So it's gonna be really cool, but it's nothing I'm super novel other than the presentation.
I will definitely watch it at home. That's not one that I would want to sit in the theater at see for, because I've just kind of gotten a little bit I don't know.
Yeah, it's fair. No, I totally understand. That's my plan for Supergirl is it's going to probably be on HBO Max or whatever it's called now, HBO Plus. About the time Lanterns comes on, and so great, cool. I can watch that all at once, and that'll be super nice and fun for me.
Oh, by the way, here's predicting the Lanterns discourse, because apparently some information about the plot of the show has leaked, and allegedly, so here we're going to see a lot of great replacement theory stuff with this one. I mean, I'm sorry, that's the wrong thing. That's related to politics and racists on the internet. I'm talking about a show here. You're going to see lots of Hal Jordan replacement theory.
Because the main Green Lantern is John Stewart.
Spoiler alert. This is actually maybe potentially a real spoiler.
Okay.
Apparently, a lot of the stuff, pretty much everything involving Hal Jordan, is in the first episode or so.
Cool.
And that something happens to him.
Sure.
Which, okay.
Okay.
Maybe
Because-
it's not.
Well, it's well known from the comics. I'm sure both of you are very familiar that Hal Jordan was never replaced. He has been the iconic default Green Lantern for 50 years. No
Okay,
one
maybe it's not replaced,
ever
but
replaced
what if they decided to make him a bad guy, the white guy? What if they took the white Green Lantern and said, what if he's a villain this time?
that also never happened
It's
in the
never
comics. I don't know what you've been reading.
No. I think the most famous Green Lantern for a generation, for like my generation, is John Stewart, because he was in, years and years of Justice League cartoons in a pretty popular show. I think unless
That's
you're
not the comics, Morgan. The source material. That never happened in the source material.
okay.
You know, right?
Bob, could you do me a favor? Could you pull up a Google tab or one of those Googlies? And I would like you to look up the character Parallax in DC Comics and take a huge drink of water right before you do it.
Are you trying to woman-splain comics to me?
I am.
Hulk
How
Widow,
dare
we
you.
were being very, very sarcastic. Yes, you're absolutely right. That's what we were in our irony. This is the worst thing that ever happened to Hal Jordan. Jesus Christ.
Right.
Like, as long as he's not played by Ryan Reynolds, it's fine. Just don't.
Well, yeah. I mean, just think about it this way: a time traveler killed Ryan Reynolds because of that role.
Mm-hmm.
A masked time traveling vigilante killed Ryan Reynolds because of Green Lantern.
We'll never know.
I thought it was for the role, the Deadpool he played in that old Wolverine movie.
Oh no, that mysterious time traveler also killed whoever played that in that bad Wolverine movie. Killed that guy too. Yeah.
Scott Adkins, I believe it was.
Okay, there you go. But yes,
I've heard this, by the way. I've heard that this is very good. I've seen it listed,
cool.
and I've thought about getting it. I think that I've been maybe trade waiting on it. I will say I just read last night the entire first volume of something called "Not All Robots" by Mark Russell.
Oh, interesting.
It is incredible. It is fucking. I cannot say enough that I would recommend anybody that's just read it. It's fucking good. It is about a story. It's a story in which at the point that the story begins, 10 years previous to that, robots have been essentially given. They're so good at everything. Essentially, they give the jobs. They have all the jobs, right?
Sure.
And then the society has changed in that every robot has a family that it takes care of financially. So if a family has a robot, the robot goes to work, does the work, comes home, and the family doesn't really do anything. And at this point in the story, the robots are kind of becoming a bit disgruntled, as well as the families are. Some of them,
sure,
cool with it. Some people aren't, and just the way it's really fucking good. Just brilliant social satire. That's also a little bit kind of horror and yeah, very good.
Nice.
The comic I'm really looking forward to is Predator versus Planet of the Apes. Comes out the first issue, written by Greg Pak, and it comes out this month. The first issue.
Nice. I should probably download some comic books for my train ride tomorrow.
Where are you going?
We're going to Chicago. We're going to go to the Field Museum and check out a couple of restaurants and stuff. So a nice little day trip with the spouse.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like a good time.
It will be.
By the way, I do still have a GoFundMe up for moving funds, which we are still in some need of. Not quite to where we would feel like we'd have it all covered. When we get there, I will end that and stop promoting it. But yeah,
Drop that link in Chatterino.
In a moment. I should have already done it. I'm pretty terrible.
Nah, you're not pretty terrible.
I'm kind of terrible. Got it. Okay.
You're maybe a smidge awful. I wouldn't go as far as terrible.
You are 12% terrible.
You're My son told me today, he said, "You're nice, Dad. You're nice," and I was like, "I don't believe you."
Now, what do you want?
I think that more accurately, somebody, I don't remember who it was, that described me as, you're not. They said you're not nice, but you're kind. I'm like, I will fucking accept that. I think that's
fair.
accurate. I I see nice.
That
as
makes you a New Yorker by default.
Yeah, you were assigned New Yorker at birth. Sorry,
it definitely
Nate.
isn't the way typical Portlanders are. There's a lot of passive aggression going on around here. It's kind of ugh.
Yeah, the way I live in Los Angeles, so
Oh yeah.
the way I learned the phrase "New Yorkers are kind but not nice" is that somebody in conversation told me, somebody who's lived in both cities said, "What you're going to learn living in LA is that everybody here is nice, but nobody is kind. Unlike in New York, where nobody's kind, where everybody's kind, but nobody's nice."
Let's see what else we got here. Oh, yeah, JD Vance.
JD Vance. Vance Dance Revolution.
Thank you for saying so. I think I'm kind of pretty myself. This is just how I look without makeup, believe it or not.
It's got your human disguise on. Literally just a comic character. Yeah, that's why he just knows comic books.
He's pretty Dane and not pretty Dane, but I'm taking it as that.
It could be both.
The Tate brothers were arrested again. Yay!
Yay! I saw that in chat earlier. That's so nice. I'm so happy for them.
As long as they're arrested.
I heard they were arrested in Miami. So were they there for the France UK game today and just got nabbed? That would be funny.
Maybe so. They're being extradited to the UK, right?
Yeah, that's where they're. Yeah.
Or.
Boy, the new prime minister over there has already just taken heads, I guess. Good for him.
Maybe they'll actually face justice this time.
That would be nice.
You know who should definitely, use he's got a wealth of political clout right now in Capitol. He should spend it. Trump should just, go ahead and grab them before they get taken out of the country. It's like, no, these heroes. Yeah, do that. Do that, Trump.
Again. Do it again. Well, PDF files protect their own, so that's the Republican motto.
By the way, so here are there's some information, right? Some information about.
Oh yeah, if you're in the UK, do yourself a favor and support Count Binface for Parliament.
I've been seeing that name. I have no idea what that is. Is that real?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Okay, so I'll explain while you're looking stuff up.
God damn it.
So, we're getting stuff put together. Okay. So, Nigel Farage, person who's belonged to every awful UK party under the sun ever, big Brexiteer guy, absolute piece of shit. He is being investigated by parliaments in the UK, investigatory body, for embezzling funds, both from his donors and from possibly the United Kingdom's government. And so to try and get around this, he stepped down from Parliament, which in the UK triggers what's called a snap election, where one is immediately scheduled to replace the person who stepped down. And he is running for his seat he just stepped down from, hoping to delay these financial crimes coming to light. And so because they didn't want to participate in this farce, it sounds like the Tories, the Greens, Labour, and Lib Dems all went like, okay, you can run by yourself. And in steps Count Binface, who is a alien member of British nobility, with the garbage bin on his head, who runs for office at random throughout UK with a mixture of sensible and very silly political positions.
So he's a libertarian.
Kind of.
In the mold of Vermin Supreme, then.
In the mold of Vermin Supreme, yeah. He's a small L libertarian. Like, one of the things he campaigns on is there's a pub, and in the men's room of that pub, the men's hand dryer should be moved slightly to a more sensible position.
Okay, I'd vote for that.
You're right.
I was going to say the way you know he's a member of the nobility is that he is wearing a garbage bin on his head.
Right on his head. Yeah, that's you know.
So wow, you are more than right, by the way, than you realized. I think. So
Oh
what were
damn.
the Tates arrested for? Let's see. Influencers brothers Andrew and Tristan Tate, whose social media empire promoting wealth, male dominance, and misogyny has made them among the world's most polarizing internet personalities, were arrested Saturday in Miami as British authorities sought their extradition on grape and sex trafficking charges. Brothers were taken into custody by U.S. Marshals Service on a sealed warrant. Agency split, blah, 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 blah. International legal saga that stretched from Romania to Britain. Prosecutors announced Saturday that they were seeking the brothers' extradition on charges alleging they raped and trafficked women between 2010 and 2017.
Yep.
So,
allow me a moment to do the to perform the me also me meme.
Okay.
So, me, you know, the carceral state is inherently oppressive, and we should like make real efforts towards abolishing it and replacing it with something that's more redemptive and restorative. Also, me. Bye, bitch.
hold on.
Right. If we're gonna have a carceral state,
I was wondering when they were going to mention it. They kind of buried it a little bit. So Tate brothers consistently denied, blah, blah, blah. We don't care. We know you probably did the shit. In a statement Saturday, the UK's Crown Prosecution Service has said that in addition to charges publicly announced against the brothers in 2025 involving alleged crimes against 3 women, it was bringing a total of 38 new charges related to 4 further victims. Both brothers are accused of rape and human trafficking. Andrew faces additional charges of profiting from prostitution and 19 charges for offenses related to indecent images of a child and extreme pornography.
fucking hell. Wow.
So well, I'm sure that the sequel to Sovereign or Citizens Vigilante or whatever is going to be about killing the Tate brothers, right? Yeah,
They are Muslim.
true.
That's true. They are. They converted to Islam. That's right. Or did just Andrew? Did his brother not? I forget how that.
I'm not sure about the brother, but Andrew Tate performatively converted to Islam a few years
Islam.
ago.
Wherein he still drinks like a fucking fish.
I was just I saw a
not
clip
supposed
of,
to do.
So when I learned that they were arrested again was I happened to see some random live stream and I clicked on it earlier and it was a fan that was streaming and I should have recognized that. But I looked at it for a minute and they were just watching clips of Andrew Tate speaking and he's like talking about how he doesn't say or and blah blah and it's like okay that's yeah generally if you can avoid that sure.
Sure.
But he's talking about how you look like you know what you're talking about. People will think you know what you're saying and it's like how about maybe actually do know what you're talking about and instead of just like focusing on people thinking you do. Maybe that's the way to go. I don't know. And also don't fucking rape children and make child porn.
Maybe don't support that guy. Yeah, Jesus Christ. That's you know what I'm an ACAB gal, but in this case,
Well, I mean, look, there's the need
cheers
for
to marshals.
to be removed from society in some cases. This being a very shining example of that.
Yes. So I did pull up a list of some of Count Binface's policies. For your information,
Mhm.
he would like to cut your taxes and raise everyone else's. I'm sorry, I'm gonna laugh reading this. I'm so bad at this. Nationalize model railways.
Okay. Yeah. The autists and 11-year-olds will love that.
Yes. Tie all government ministers' pay, including the mayor's, to that of nurses for the next 100 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
All auto renew on all online subscriptions to be abolished immediately.
Okay. I'm for that one.
Pensions to be double locked There's a little chain on the side.
What?
Like with a physical lock. Pensions to be double locked with a little chain on the side, like physically locking up pensions. Wi-Fi on trains that works. Trains that work.
Okay, both of
Build
those
a-
get my vote.
The 6.6 million Ashfordton in Markfield regeneration scheme to be regenerated. Free parking for electric vehicles between Vine Street and the Strand. Let's see, housing. Okay, this one kills me. Build at least one affordable house.
Just one.
Yes.
That's a start. Yeah, at least one.
MPs to live in the area which they wish to represent for 4 years before standing for election to improve local representation.
Okay, that's a good one. I like that one.
Yep. Abolish the House of Lords.
Okay.
I knew it was going to be in there somewhere.
Set the voting age to a minimum of 16 years of age and a maximum of 80.
Okay.
Electoral reform, a referendum on holding a referendum on holding a second referendum on Brexit.
Okay.
So how is Count Binface doing in the polls?
That's a good question. Oh, here's my favorite: abolish VAR in football, 100%. If I was in the UK, I would vote for Count Binface.
I don't know what that means.
It's video review of plays in real football, not American concussion ball.
You mean like video replays of a
video, like, so a play happens and it's called one way or the other, and then there's a guy in a booth with a camera and can roll back the footage and change the calls on the pitch.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's a Politico article.
Let's bring it back to America real quick.
Let's bring it back to America. Yeah.
I mean, who actually cares about?
Who cares about the UK? They're just like.
Yeah, there's a reason we kicked them out.
Right.
Yeah, fuck
Go
those
back
guys.
to where you come from, you know.
Well, unless they
Because
make Count Binface prime minister, then we can rejoin the union, I guess.
It's because they wouldn't play hand egg ball and call it football.
You know, they've got their guy over there that's trying to throw a wrench in the you know the works of government. We've got our guy too. You know,
but their guy's a socialist, and our guy is.
So, but
orange.
he kind of undermined himself in a pretty big way. So we the other night we watched a little bit once we realized he wasn't actually presenting anything new, but he did. He actually did present. He not on his speech, but he put information on the whitehouse.gov website.
Yeah,
I would recommend you go check this out because look, it is pretty convincing. He did actually put out evidence that there was an attempt to meddle in the 2020 election and to sway the vote. He really did. Just it wasn't China, and it wasn't for Biden. In the most cartoonishly stupid fucking, you know, just like, oh man, fucking stepped on a rake. This is like, you know, sideshow Bob just like stepping on rakes, you know. Yeah. Trump says these documents prove his false claims of election fraud. Here's what they really say.
Ooh, spicy.
An ad. He said it's a smoking gun. Hyped as a smoking gun. Speaking from the White House, blah, blah, blah. Chinese meddling to undermine his failed candidacy in 2020 and a cover-up by the deep state. Americans were blatantly lied to about the security of our election infrastructure, but a review by the Associated Press found no such confirmation in the collection of newly declassified reports, investigation files, intelligence analysis, and assorted correspondence. Many pages are so heavily redacted that their findings are unclear. Others outline vulnerabilities and assessments that have been well documented for years. There's no evidence that China or any other foreign entity manipulated the vote in 2020 or of any other year.
Wow.
Did promise a bombshell, and they delivered a dud, said David Becker. There's absolutely nothing here that was news, nothing here that even calls into question past elections, and certainly not the 2020 election. But except they did make a claim that China has our data. Yeah, that's they do.
Yep, that's correct.
Not the same thing as
so does everyone else. Yeah.
So does everyone else.
The people that are registered to vote does not tell you how many people voted for who. It doesn't allow you to change that number. And I feel like that's something they're getting away with, that conflation with some of the magazines, right? Like they hear, oh no, they've got access to the registration. Look at all these people that are registered that voted in a different state or whatever. As far as that goes, I've heard of examples of people that are registered in several states and then vote in a different one, because most people don't unregister when you move.
Right.
Like, but guess what? That isn't. That's not a vote. That's just registered. And if you did try to vote in some state or whatever different state, like it's not, they check that against each other. That's literally what that they do. That's what the registration is for. So
okay, let's I want to break this down just logistically.
Sure.
So okay, I'm registered in Wisconsin, right? Let's say I moved to California for work or whatever, right? And then I registered to vote there. So I would have to somehow get a absentee ballot from Wisconsin to vote in Wisconsin, or get an absentee ballot in California and fly to Wisconsin to vote twice. That sounds like a lot of money. Who has a lot of money? Is it rich people, like a bunch of like conservative billionaire types? Just like, if someone's going to do it, right? If they have all these theories about how it's being done, I feel like the call is coming from inside the house.
Well, I mean, you would think that if there's anything happening, like actually happening, he would have said that. Actually, I was disappointed. I was kind of nervous about that speech. I was like, oh no, he's going to say some crazy shit. He's going to put something out there that's like, and it really was pretty disappointing.
It really was.
So he did say that new information being declassified from the Department of Homeland Security investigation based on state voter rolls and public records that he said identified approximately 278,000 non-citizens registered to vote in federal elections. That's a lot. That could sway an election, maybe. Definitely could sway an election. However, that's not votes.
That's not votes.
The report said the agency uncovered more than 250,000 non-citizens illegally registered to vote in California, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Nevada, and based on public records, which are often erroneous or incomplete. Another 28,000 non-citizens that claimed were found on voter rolls in 25 states using the new systemic alien verification for entitlement system. There is no allegation, however, that any of those people actually voted, which would be a crime.
Here's another fun part of this that I want to reiterate that I mentioned on when we streamed during the week, when I came on during the week for a little bit. All this information he's talking about before the 2020 election is from like 2018, 2019, 2020. So all of this data was stolen. All the stuff he alleges happened on his watch. Which means even if he's right, it's his fault and he enabled it. So it's just like the nothing that he's all hot and bothered about is his responsibility.
It was really bizarre.
And he didn't care.
It was bizarre for him to come out and just announce that, hey, the Republicans, me included, were really bad at securing our elections. The Democrats are actually really good.
Really good at it. Yeah, because it's not like he came out and said, hey, we found all of these things in the CIA and FBI about the Biden administration trying to steal the election for Harris, which would be a smoking gun. Yes, correct. And that would point to Democrats. Yes, correct. But what you have is a gun with a bang flame sticking out of it that you shot yourself with.
Yep.
All right. Well, it is pushing 9:30 here, and I want to get to bed by 10. So I'm going to get going because I have a train to catch in the morning.
Cool. Well, thanks for being on.
Pleasure to see you both.
Bye.
Bye.
We'll be wrapping it up pretty quick. I just wanted to kind of look at maybe some of this JD Vance stuff if you want to do that for a minute.
Sure.
But also, just to get to the Russia part of this, down at the bottom, Trump has spent years criticizing the intelligence community's assessment that Russia meddled in the 2016 election to help him win. But the documents shed new light on the country's ongoing efforts. One declassified document from 2020 portrays Russia as the country that has tried the most to penetrate American election systems, but in an effort to defeat Joe Biden. What? That's crazy.
What?
I mean, look, what evidence do we have that Putin would be would prefer Trump or anything? You know what I mean? It's not like Trump fucking rolled out the literal red carpet, or I'm sorry, had service people roll out the literal red carpet for Putin when he came to America.
Well, to be fair, we roll out the red carpet for all heads of state, but I take your point.
Yes, we did. Yeah. Typically, we don't do it for actively antagonistic. By the way, the Tenet thing, the whole Tenet media thing, that is all of it an attempt to undermine our elections, or just to misinform and deceive people, confuse people with bullshit enough that the election would be changed from what Putin was worried it would be.
Yeah. And to be clear, this is something that all governments do to all other governments in the world, or at least attempt to do.
That's funny because JD Vance was making that same case on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, which is why it's a nothing burger.
He says, does Israel try to influence America? Yeah, of course. But every country tries to influence America. So, therefore, it's okay that Israel is very successful at it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's a different argument. But
I know, I was just fucking with you.
But my point is that this is like, if you think the United States does not do this in Russia and China and like every other country in the world for like decades, you are wrong. This is just what's called exercising soft power. And we should not be surprised that other countries try to do it to us. But like you said, it is not the same thing as faking votes. Those are two different discussions, and they're trying to conflate the two.
Oh, wow. This is interesting. So basically, if you're somebody that has, focused on, Hunter Biden and his Burisma job and how that's definitely corrupt and all this stuff, that's exactly what Putin wanted amplified. That narrative, which is bizarrely almost the main one that I saw leading up to the election, other than, general trans panic. But also, so this document is quoted here. This is a document Trump released. Their aim is to defeat the former vice president and ensure the president's victory, in reference to the current president at the time, which was Donald Trump. Reads the document from the National Intelligence Council. The document went on to state that both China and Iran wanted Trump to lose, but it included a chart documenting each country's known efforts. Only Russia was marked as having been known to have engaged in targeting, assessing, or manipulating election processes or election-related systems. Russia has continued to deny. Well, I mean, of course, he strongly denied it, so clearly he's telling the truth. Remember when he did that? He strongly denied it behind the scenes where nobody could see it. He said that's Trump, and Trump was like, I believe him.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah. And yeah, it's ridiculous. I do feel a little bit better because it doesn't mean these elections are still going to be a shit show. There's going to be some crazy shit that happens. Probably can't even predict what it's going to be quite yet. Some element here or there is going to be something. But in the sense that Trump is going to be able to successfully lay a narrative about apparently past elections that's going to affect this one, I don't know that this moves the needle. I don't really believe that it does. If you're already inclined to believe that elections are fucked and because of alleged past things, well, this isn't. Yeah, but it's definitely not going to gain independence that are going to suddenly lose lose a confidence in our election systems based on the shit that Trump said and released.
Right. But I don't think that's the goal of doing this. The only thing they're doing here is creating a pretext for them to interfere in the election. That's it. Yep. It doesn't have to be true. Nobody has to believe it. They have all the power. They're just flexing. That's all this is. And what I think they're going to do is send ICE to polling stations, particularly in blue states, to just monitor what's going on. They're just there as a safety measure. That's what they're going to do, to intimidate people into not voting.
Well, in that regard, let's see here. By the way, Malachi Edge of the Now has an excellent new video out. You should check that out.
The one on Rainn Wilson's podcast?
Yes.
I have not watched that yet. I've been interested in that.
I did not know anything about. What I thought that the controversy was, because I didn't look into it at all. I thought that even whenever Malachi said they were working on a video about Rainn Wilson, this is what I thought it was him saying that The Office couldn't be made today because blah blah blah, too divisive, too whatever. Because then I saw that on Tim Heidecker's podcast, he had Rainn Wilson on, and he directly addressed that, and he kind of challenged him that, like, basically. And I believe that Rainn Wilson did not say it in the way that Fox News was definitely framing it and pushing it, in the sense that just it's too politically correct now or whatever. It's like, it is politically correct now, not at all in the direction that chuds act like it is. It's politically correct in the sense that if you make a joke about Trump not really caring that Charlie Kirk died, you could potentially have your show shut down. That's political correctness now, as in. But no, I can see the argument he was making as he explained in that. Maybe he said it a little crappy, sloppy or whatever, but essentially, things are too, they don't take risks anymore. They're not going to take risks on network television, which The Office was a risk when they first put it out. It was a new format kind of show. Essentially, it was a take on a British show. And, in fact, that first, what was it? The fucking first episode, I believe, was so bad that they had to retool it completely almost, and they changed a couple of the characters dramatically because it was just kind of stiff and not very funny at first. Michael Scott being the shining example of a character that, if you watch the pilot episode, he's not funny. He's not likable in the way that Michael Scott becomes in that show. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean. I've never watched The Office, actually.
Holy shit, Bob. Okay. All right. Well,
I'm not a sitcom guy. Just,
I mean, neither am I. Typically don't like sitcoms because most of the time or at least they used to have laugh tracks and shit, and I hate that crap. I hate the 3-camera or whatever multi-camera kind of just like bullshit. If something's going to be a sitcom, if that qualifies as a sitcom, The Office, then okay, but it's not how I tend to think of them. But nonetheless, he addressed that and blah blah blah. Here is JD Vance.
Welcome to the Epstein Experience featuring J.
This guy's the vice president. In case you didn't know that. Did you know that?
Rainn Wilson?
No,
Michael Scott?
JD Vance is the vice
president.
Yeah. It's crazy. I can't even believe it, man. Pull this up here. Somebody told me that today. Said, hey, this guy's the vice president. I was like, of America?
Vice president of what? Of America? Which one?
Of
North America?
Really?
Welcome to the Epstein Experience featuring J.D. Vance. The vice president has gone on the world's largest podcast to slip us some propaganda. They're hoping you won't notice.
Fact check on CoffeeZilla there. It is no longer, at least consistently like it was, the #1 podcast. It often is overtaken by many things, but sometimes it peaks up into the #1 spot. But yeah, not anymore.
Because the cover-up, that was 6 months ago. Now, the rewrite has started. I hope you've forgotten some of those details because you're going to need to misremember everything in the Epstein files in order to believe what they're trying to sell us. And so you got to be careful of the podcast these days. The times have changed. It's no longer bros talking. All these powerful people who used to go try to spin stuff on cable TV have now realized this is the new place to sell your propaganda. It's not on cable TV. Nobody's there. It's on the Joe Rogan Experience. You got to be skeptical of all these guys who go on the show. I mean, except that guy, obviously. Wait, click off that. Some of these guys you could trust. Some of them, they just have the right look to them. I think you could trust them. But today, I just want to break down all the claims made regarding the Epstein files, starting with what I thought was the most egregious one. And that
God, I just got a fucking little panic attack. Like, yeah, Jesus. He had a whatever screenshot he was showing there had a notification from Premiere that said Premiere stopped unexpectedly. And I was like, oh, what? I had Premiere open? Whoa. Legitimately had a fucking, my heart, kind of skipped a beat for a second.
I don't use Premiere, so I don't understand why you would have that reaction.
You don't understand why a program in which you were editing something unexpectedly quitting might be alarming? Come on.
No, I get that, but like, why? Okay.
Because
I didn't know Premiere wasn't editing.
It happens.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I didn't know that Adobe Premiere was right offhand. I did not know that was an editing program.
Oh.
So now my question would be, why are you editing something in the middle of a live stream?
I'm not. That's the thing. But I saw it and I mistakenly thought it was on my screen, but it was on his. So
I see. Okay.
My bad.
Essentially explains why they're really talking about this, what their new line of attack is on the Epstein files. They didn't cover it up. They just mishandled the comms.
Yeah.
Say this with all candor, like we absolutely screwed up the comms of the Epstein files, like we just did. But do I think the reason we screwed up the comms is because we were trying to hide something? No.
How convenient. They didn't cover it up, obstruct, lie about what was the Epstein files until they were forced by the Senate and House of Representatives in order to release it. No. They just screwed up the comms. They just didn't know how to roll that out.
Again, well, it's obvious that Epstein was a
he did a little oopsie doops,
I love how he says, "Do I think that we did that to hide something?"
Right.
No, I do not.
I also like that he's clearly got a tell where he goes, in all candor, that kind of thing. And what's amazing in the clips I've seen is that depending on what he's saying from moment to moment, he's either trying to present himself as just an average guy. Look, I like going down these conspiracy rabbit holes like the rest of us, like the rest of you. And then, saying that like, from what I've seen, and I don't know, I haven't seen everything, that blah, blah, blah. And then another point in the podcast, Joe Rogan asks him, as vice president, how much access to information do you have? And he says, I can see everything, basically anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, holy shit, man. At least remember what lies you tell, maybe.
Like, yes, but if people want to say we mishandled the Epstein release, guilty.
Oh, that's fine. You can say we mishandled it. Did we do it on purpose? No, not at all.
We did mishandle, especially the communications of it.
What do you think should have been done?
I think that we should have just dropped everything at the very beginning and, like, obviously
told everybody about how Trump has a thing for fucking up nipples. That's what he That's what he proposed in the New York article that came out that talks about the actual discussion that happened of intentionally trying to cover it up. That was the question. Do we try to cover this up, or do we just go, we can't really cover it up, so we flood the zone here? Which he does admit to kind of accidentally in this.
Takes a little time to review the stuff, to find the stuff, to redact things where you have victims and so forth, but we should have just done it as quickly as possible.
Oh, you mean like the thing you all ran on? That didn't occur to you to do it? There was no other reason that you guys hid it for months and months? Like, I don't even know who believes this, except for people who just take this stuff at face value. But I want to show you definitively, you should not take the vice president at face value. JD Vance, in this interview, admits to things that tells you that he is a propagandist. He's not just a guy talking about his true beliefs on an issue. And the way we know this is because of how he talks about Iran, where specifically when asked about his real opinion, he says, look, I'm not a commentator. He's just here to execute for the president.
I mean, my attitude towards this, man, as you know, is the vice president, I'm not a public commentator. Like,
something about the way he says man there that's just like forced. Like, he's like, oh yeah, I gotta drop man. That makes me sound like I'm just a guy,
Well, one day he'll be a real boy.
It's not an airport. No need to announce your departures.
My job is to give the best advice I can to the president of the United States. But once the president makes a decision, my attitude towards it is I try to make it as successful as possible.
So that's what he's doing here with the Epstein files. Look, they covered it up. They made that decision. And now JD Vance is here to try to make it sound as palatable as possible to you, the viewer. And it's not just JD Vance that says this. The New York Times has actual reporting on Inside the White House freakout of the Epstein files. JD Vance is literally quoted in that piece talking about the Epstein files, saying this is a huge problem. When talking about the president and Epstein's relationship, there was some reporting that was coming out. JD Vance was trying to think of gambits to try to get people off the scent. Quote, he thought that the White House should enlist Tucker Carlson to interview Epstein's longtime girlfriend and co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell in prison. It might help the president if Maxwell was willing to state that Trump had not been a part of wrongdoing with Epstein. Well, by the way, that happened, but just with Todd Blanche, not Tucker Carlson. So we literally know internally, JD was saying, hey, this is a huge problem. Hey, we got to deal with this. We got to, maybe get Tucker Carlson to interview Ghislaine Maxwell. We got to find a way.
Another thing, ironically enough, that I'm surprised he didn't mention in this video is another thing he promoted or proposed was going on Joe Rogan to establish narrative. So weird that that's literally what he's doing here,
That is odd. Now that you mention it.
Way to convince the public that this is no big deal, right? He's literally part of the cover-up. Then he goes on the Joe Rogan Experience to do his spin move, right? Now, if you're wondering, well, how can we trust that New York Times reporting, right? Well, actually, J.D. Vance quotes it. This was during a section where J.D. Vance, the I'm not a commentator guy, was trying to establish his bona fides with Joe Rogan's audience. He goes, hey, look, I'm a conspiracy theorist too. And he quotes the article.
You and I could literally do 2 episodes about this. I've gone on down to every rabbit hole. There's this funny New York Times story that's somewhat true, somewhat false, but where Susie Wiles, the White House chief of staff, says, well, we know JD's a conspiracy theorist on this. Like I am, actually. I've gone down every rabbit hole here.
So JD Vance says, hey, look, guys, hey, I'm just like you. I may not be a commentator. I may be here to just play spin, but I'm like, I've been down every rabbit hole. Nothing to see here, guys. We just mishandled the comms. But if you look at it, that's just a direct quote from the New York Times article. Now, of course, yes, JD says, oh, yeah, some of it's true, some of it's false.
Somewhat true, somewhat false.
But which part? You're quoted in there covering the thing up. Was that the part that's fake? The part which says you're a real conspiracy theorist like the rest of us? Oh, no. That's true. Everything else where you were involved in a cover-up involving the White House, where you were directly floating ideas to go interview Epstein's co-conspirator, not to get to the truth, but in order to exonerate the president, that's all probably fake. That's all probably nonsense. But it gets even worse, because one of the things JD talks about is how he's thought a lot about how to discredit conspiracy theories. Watch.
One of the ways you discredit a conspiracy theory, I thought about this a lot, is try to hide it. Another way you discredit conspiracy theory is by flooding the zone.
Did you guys just hear that? He goes, I've thought a lot about it. One of the ways to discredit a conspiracy theory is to try to hide it. They did that. They actually did that.
They told both things. They it's crazy. Like he thinks he's saying something that is, I don't know what he thinks that he's doing. You know what I mean? But
who, JD Vance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they literally did both of those things. They tried to hide it. That didn't work. People got too upset. Say, okay, we have to address this then. So they flooded the zone. But not completely, not with all of the information that they should have. But they put out enough for sure to really kind of flood it.
Yeah, you are correct. I have nothing to add.
Thank you.
Told us, hey, there's no evidence to predicate an investigation against any uncharged third parties. We looked at all the documents. Nothing to see here, guys. We're not going to release it. And then the second way is to flood the zone, which is you just throw so much unsubstantiated stuff out here, you discredit the conspiracy theory entirely.
Another way you discredit conspiracy theory is by flooding the zone. So one of the things I've tried to do when looking at all this stuff is to try to understand sort of where it fits in and to, try to separate the real from the fake.
The
now,
crazy thing that Vance does in this that I'm just like, wow, that's what you're going with, dude. Okay, is he tries to take it all the way back to the original Acosta investigation, and he tries to throw it all at Acosta's feet and say all the information, anything that would have been worthwhile and worth investigating and stuff was basically just, it wasn't included in 2008, and that's it. It's all gone now. There's just nothing, and that is, if you've looked at the fucking files a little bit, it's crazy. That's what he's trying to go with. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, he's counting on the fact that most people haven't. Most people have just looked at content about what the files allegedly say. And they flooded the zone with so much of it that a lot of it's lies now, and people have just accepted lies about it.
Yeah. He's just like, I just like to sit on the couch and just, sit on the couch and the couch.
Yeah.
Is that what they did next? Well, actually, yes, it is. The way they released the files was in this giant dump of millions of documents. Not only that, Vance, in the New York Times article he says is somewhat true, somewhat false, says unsubstantiated allegations and anecdotes about Trump should go out, Vance argued. They were going to surface regardless, and if the administration published first, it would demonstrate good faith and take the oxygen out of conspiracy theories. Guys, he literally tried to do the thing he's telling you on Joe Rogan. Oh, I've thought a lot about this. This is how you discredit a conspiracy theory. You release a bunch of unsubstantiated stuff so they don't pay attention to the stuff that is substantiated. And this is my problem with these types of interviews. Look, I don't think there's anything wrong with interviewing the vice president, but you have to take into account that he's not just a bro. He's not just your buddy, right? This is a guy who tells you he's not here to commentate. He's not here to give his real opinion. He's here to propagandize for what the president's agenda is. Here's a guy who says he's thought a lot about discrediting conspiracy theories.
One of the ways you discredit a conspiracy theory, I've thought about this a lot.
Here's a guy who corroborates reporting where he is directly conspiring to discredit the Epstein conspiracy theory. But, we'll just let him get away with saying he's just like one of us, bro. He's gone down every rabbit hole.
I'm like one of the OG Epstein conspiracy theorists. I've probably gone down every single rabbit hole. We could go down most of them today.
And so, look, with that out of the way, I just want to debunk some of the specific claims that J.D. Vance made. One, he tried to say, hey, look, the real problem was all with Alec Acosta back in 2007, 2008 with the prosecution.
Look, the original sin of the Epstein investigation, and obviously I'm biased here, but it was not what Donald Trump and the administration did in 2025. It was, you have to go back to 2007, 2008. The original Alex Acosta investigation of Jeffrey Epstein, where he basically dropped the federal charges. I think Epstein,
even because that a lot of the MAGA base, they're going to run with that. That's the thing that's what he's doing there. He's telling them what they need to say, right?
Yeah,
and they're going to say that, and it's like, okay, fine. Let's explore that for a second. Who made Acosta? What was it? Transportation, something like that guy. Literally after he made that sweetheart deal, which was a very well known sweetheart deal. Like, a lot of people were upset about it. Who appointed him into his cabinet? I'm trying to remember here.
I believe it was not Joe Biden.
No, it's not Joe Biden. It's not Hunter Biden. It wasn't Hillary.
Who could it have been?
It wasn't Barack Hussein Obama. Okay.
I feel like we're missing a president in there somewhere.
He really is. Like, it's so fucking obvious when he's just kind of seen this a couple of times now. I'm realizing that JD Vance is not a natural liar. And that might sound weird, but I don't think he is. I think that when you see him, or a few years ago when he was chubbier, and he's talking about how, Trump is essentially going to be America's Hitler and stuff. I feel like he was being sincere there. That was how he felt about it at the time. And he seemed to be making eye contact and looking right at whoever he was interviewing or was interviewing him. Here, when he's talking about this shit, he looks to the left, just like off to the, and I know body language is like not a super consistent thing that you can, but there are some things that tend to hold true. And somebody that's not making eye contact and is kind of just looking off into the middle distance while they're saying something that, is obviously bullshit, I think that kind of tells something. And then he will look back at Joe when he says something that is true at the end of a statement where he's trying to wrap up something he just said that was not true. Right. If you look at that, you might be able to see it, but you just gotta constantly check my channel, man. It's nothing that need to prioritize that like every hour, like look and see, staying live. No, I'm kidding.
Never log off. Never ever log off.
He ended up getting prosecuted on some sort of local thing. But the original warrant, back in 2008, what was he looking for? What was he allowed to look for? What were they collecting? It was not looking at a broader conspiracy. So that happens. Okay. Epstein gets pinched. I think he goes to prison, or maybe this is when he was on house arrest.
Dude, he said pinched. What the fuck, man? So fucking lame, dude.
He's trying to talk like a bro. That's what he's trying to do.
God damn it.
But like anything that existed from the 80s and 90s up to 2006, 2007, anything that existed that we didn't get back then was disappeared. Right. So like when people say,
is he making an argument for why there should be new investigations? Because cool. Yeah, that's a pretty good argument for that.
No, here's what I think he's trying to do. He's trying to imply that whoever was the president in 2007 to 2008 had something to do with why those files were disappeared.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense that Obama Obama wasn't president in 2007, 2008. That's right. No. Okay, fair enough. As if I needed more reasons to like W.
But see, he might know that, but most people don't. If you spat those years out, are not going to immediately remember that.
I mean, even me just now, for a moment, it took me a minute to remember that that's not how those things play out. But I don't think that's what he's doing, actually. I think that he is just trying to send people, easily led people, jangle some keys at that general timeline. And make them kind of think, oh, well, basically that's what he's doing is he wants people to give up on it. And by saying that the stuff that you're really, those investigations, there's all thrown out, the idiots will go, oh, well, I guess we just have to give up on it then. There's no reason because it's all gone for 2008. And all it's like, okay, but what are the millions of pages of documents now then? What is all that? Right? It's like it's a pretty crazy thing to claim and expect people to just take it face value. Whenever there's so much information about investigations since then, right? And then the lack of investigations is also very notable. You can there's a few different victims who have been doxxed because of the fucking files being improperly or not redacted where they should have been, and now they're just out there talking because, like, whatever, my name's out there now, so they're speaking on it and they're saying, I have not been approached, I've not been contacted whatsoever by the DOJ. And then you got Blanche over here, doing his hearings and stuff, and he's saying, well, if the victims want to speak with me, then they get their attorneys, and it's like that is not typically how investigations interact with victims. You know what I mean? Like, you don't. There's not a thing. It's not a standard protocol that, well, I'll speak with this victim if they have their attorney present. That's how you treat people who are potentially have committed crimes. So it's weird. But of course, Blanche is literally as he said, I'm Trump's attorney. I mean, I'm the DOJ. Head of DOJ. That's what he said. Okay. Another couch joke. Interior rooms to go. How does that one feel, sir? Pretty good. Has just the right amount of pushback. Yeah. Look, there's a reason why my new song is called Sofa King and the Throat Goat. And that's because it's half about him and half about Charlie Kirk. Yep. I'm really classy.
Has what you've seen on the inside make you think that that Epstein never blackmailed people or that Epstein never engaged in broader trafficking? No, absolutely not. What I have seen, and I've looked at most of the files, is that there just wasn't dispositive evidence. And if that dispositive evidence ever existed, it was probably destroyed after 2006, 2007.
JD, I got to give him credit. He's so good at this because some of what he's saying is like half true. Alex Costa did mess up the investigation. There was a completely ridiculous plea deal done, a sweetheart deal, and there wasn't enough evidence collected. That's all true. But here's the big lie. There was enough and still is enough in the Epstein files to predicate an investigation into uncharged third parties. There just absolutely is. There is evidence of a guy still at large that is talking about bringing girls over from Eastern Europe very clearly in order to traffic them. There are powerful people mentioned in these files where we don't have those people's records, right? Because he's saying, oh, we don't have enough from Epstein stuff. Well, has it ever occurred to you guys that you could investigate other people? But that's not happening because that's not the goal here. The goal has been, and we saw it in the New York Times reporting, which JD Vance corroborated, was to bury this story as quickly as possible and move on. Meanwhile, they throw up their hands and they go, oh, we just don't have enough evidence, to lock anybody up today. He doesn't explain why they can't go start investigations tomorrow. It's kind of incredible to think in hindsight that in 2019, the government, specifically the FBI, had 10 co-conspirators they were investigating, and now we have none. And this brings me to my last point, which is about some of the victims who were not interviewed for all of this. One of the big revelations towards the end of the Epstein release was the fact that the DOJ has not met with many of the people who were trafficked to Epstein. That's something you would think would be the first stop if you're trying to get to the bottom of something like this, rather than interviewing Ghislaine Maxwell and then cutting her a sweetheart deal to move her to a nice minimum security prison.
Todd, please.
Which apparently, by the way, there are other inmates that have said that in this new facility, that basically mentioning any of that about or around her can get them in trouble.
Yeah, she basically runs the place.
Yeah, she's puppy time.
Well, yeah.
I mean, look, I'm for that. Generally, I'm for that for prisoners.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
But you know
as
what?
I said before in my me segment, I am in favor of abolishing the carceral state, but also bye, bitch.
Let's give all prisoners the same kind of luxuries that we afford Ghislaine Maxwell. You know.
Yes, exactly. Unironically, I mean, with extreme exceptions, we should have something more like what they do in the Nordic countries.
Genociders, probably not. You know,
yeah.
That guy. Cops don't get puppies. That's what I think. They definitely shot and killed some. So,
but I mean, the way the Nordic countries do it seems to work just fine for them. They recognize that there are some rare individuals who need to be kept away from society more or less for the rest of their lives. But even those people get like
counter example, though, an anecdotal counter example. Varg Vikernes. Nope. He did the mandatory, I think, 20 years in Norway for murder, and he got out, and now he's just a Nazi. He's just a Nazi.
Some people slip through the system. That's always going to be true. But even the worst offenders in that system get like, they basically have a 1-bedroom apartment. They get TV, they get books, they can order out food, you know, but they just don't have freedom of movement to leave the building whenever they want to. But other than the goal is not to make them suffer. And like I watched a really interesting documentary about another, like a guy who also was convicted of murder, serving a life sentence in, I think, Norway. And his prison was basically an apartment complex run by the government. And he could not come and go as he pleased, but he was allowed to have a job outside the facility, which they transported him to. And he was apparently very good at his job. And he had to come back, during curfew hours. And they showed his prison cell, and it's like an apartment. They treat him like a human being, right? They recognize he did something wrong, and he's paying restitution to the family and all that other stuff. And he's a life sentence, so he's always going to live here for the rest of his life. But they're not like beating him or starving him or putting him in solitary confinement, doing sleep deprivation, or any of the shit that we do. And it seems to be working out just fine for them. You know, the threat to the community has been neutralized, so they don't feel any need to further dehumanize the guy.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna get out of here. I need to get some food in me and check on the family and whatnot. I do want to point out that I just saw randomly that you can watch for free on YouTube right now, Everything Everywhere All at Once. And then referring to the movie title, not literally that you can watch everything all at once on, but the movie is for free on YouTube right now. So
that's wild.
If you haven't seen that, I would recommend it for sure.
It is awesome. Yeah.
That's about all I got.
And if you want more Michelle Yeoh movies to watch, contact me. I can give you a list of her best films from Hong Kong.
Hit him up in the comments of his videos on Black Belt, Armchair Black Belt.
Yes, please do.
And tell him he's a handsome guy. Tell him he's a kind fella, and he will probably help you out there. That's about it. Yep. Anybody who hasn't seen it should watch. Yep. I mean, really, if you haven't seen it twice, see it the second time. It's very, very good. It's worth a second view. It is a
very rewatchable movie. You will pick up so many things on the second watch that you missed the first time, that or your second watch will recontextualize things you forgot. It's really, really brilliant movie. Yeah.
Those are my favorite kind of movies generally, is something where like it plays great the first time, but as it's unfolding, but then like as you watch it, you're like, oh shit, I didn't even realize this thing that happened before that. Whoa, I'm thinking about trying to get my son to watch The Matrix. I don't know if he's ready for it quite yet, but I want him to watch The Matrix. I feel like he's going to like it if he can sit down and gain interest. But
is there any evidence that he's been exposed to any Matrix memes over the years?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what got me onto that path. I don't even remember what it's been, but it's been for a couple months now that I'm like, I gotta get and watch Matrix. yeah, he's aware of the some of the visual cues and like the bullet time and stuff like that. So, and then because like a lot of the new cartoons that kids watch these days, by the way, they're just generally better than the cartoons we had, in every respect almost, except for coolness. Maybe, they're not as cool as I feel like as we had cool cartoons, even though they were like advertisement for toys. They were not good. They felt cool at the time, and nostalgically they seem cool. But going back and looking at like G.I. Joe, it is not a good show. Transformers, not a good show. He-Man, not a good show really. But there's seeds of ideas in there. The stuff they got now is not made to sell action figures generally, so that's a plus. And also it has like more clarity with the morality generally, and that's a good thing.
Is it better than Batman the animated series?
No, fuck no, absolutely not. Of course not. How could it be?
Because that's what I would hold as the gold standard. Because that show was technically a kid's show.
Yeah, but I mean, I would argue that was kind of like that a lot of this stuff now would not be possible without that kind of changing the way things were done. But a lot of the point is what I was trying to get to is like a lot of these shows now that I think like Regular Show. I know he likes that one. I've seen some of it's pretty good. I forget the names of some of the ones he watches, but I know there are references to things like The Matrix in those, so it's like
right. So he's aware of cultural memes that came out of the movie, but he doesn't know the plot of the movie.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And also, actually, this is kind of interesting. Yesterday we were walking dogs, and I said something. For some reason, I started thinking about phone booths. And I was like, a long time ago, there used to be like these booths on street corners where if you need to call somebody, there's a phone in there. You put in some money, and he goes, oh, and yeah, they had like these books that had everybody's phone number and address in it. I said, yeah, phone books. They still have those, just not, they're not all over the place like that. And then I thought, what? A good movie that relies on a phone book as part of the plot is the first Terminator film. I've been trying to, gauge his interest in watching the Terminator franchise as well. I think that might be a little bit further away, but then last night, Jen, for whatever reason, spotted that they're doing a 35th anniversary theater release of T2, man.
Wow.
On August 29th. Fucking Judgment Day. Can you believe it?
Yep. That's the perfect day.
It is. And I was like, holy shit. And Jen got on there and bought tickets for us and stuff. I was like, you're awesome.
For us, you mean you and her, or for the family?
For the family. Yeah.
So he has to see Terminator 1 before then.
Before then, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I guess, yeah, he does. I could show him a video kind of recap, but it is the horror one.
It is your duty to show him the full movie.
It's true.
He doesn't have to like it or sit through it, but you have to show him the actual film.
I think that maybe the thing that got us talking about those two movies in particular is AI stuff. Now that I think about it, AI slop. He fucking recognizes AI slop. He thinks he knows it's bullshit. He knows it's a scam. So I was like, yeah, man. When I was a kid, like the thing that turned out to be quote unquote AI is pretty disappointing compared to what we were told it was going to be, and maybe that's still going to come down the line. I don't know. True AI, which they now call, what do they call it now? Super intelligent AI or some shit. That it's like, no, you're changing, you're moving the goalpost. You changed it. You call this stupid Google 2.0 shit AI now. And,
yeah, I was watching something the other day that made me realize AI, like Chat GPT and stuff like that, is bad at math.
Yeah.
And if it's bad at math, AI is never going to be what they predict it to be.
That's
if it can't do, yeah.
I got a calculator that never gets it wrong, man. Never gets it wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it will always say boobless if you write the right numbers in there.
that was exactly my thought too. Like there's this, I forget the details of the story. I'll have to go look it up, but somebody was remarking, it turns out AI is bad at math in the story itself. And my first thought was, but why? It has access to the entire internet. Can it easily just look up a calculator program?
I saw
those are free.
There was some glitch in one of them that basically if you asked it some specific questions, I think it was Claude maybe that was doing this, it would just go into a fucking system breaking loop and just kind of play that out like on repeat. This where it's trying to answer a question, but no, fuck, what was it? Oh, it was you ask it, what is the emoji for? Fuck, I'm trying to remember what it was that you ask it for, because it thinks that there's an emoji for it, and it says yes, there is an emoji for that, and then it tries to find it, and it comes up with the wrong emoji, and then it goes, wait, that's not right, and then there is one, and it tries to find it over and over again, just presenting the wrong fucking emojis because it doesn't actually exist, but for whatever reason it thinks it does. Oh, because it was it was trained on Reddit, and there was something about that on Reddit at one point. So it doesn't understand the context that the Redditors were saying, you know, there's not actually this emoji or whatever, and it thinks that one exists. And so it just goes in that loop, and then literally you have to fucking restart the thing because it just won't stop. And that's pretty stupid, you know? I mean, the math thing is also very, very stupid. That's the most, you know, literal example of what machines should be able to do is math. If nothing else, they should number.
If they want it to become what they claim it can become, it has to be good at math before everything else.
Yes, Terminator 1, 2, and 3 are rated R. The first one to be PG-13, I believe, was Salvation. I think it might be, and then Genesis also was, maybe, I think, or maybe not, maybe Genesis, whatever. But I mean, yes, my son has watched rated R films before. The thing is, we basically use the pretty decent, you know, notion of a rated R film and what it's intended to be, which is not that children shouldn't see this. It's that, you know, there should be parental guidance, and a parent should gauge your child's ability to absorb, process, understand the content therein. And so in that way, we're not going to watch we're not going to watch like a 50 Shades of Grey or something like that.
Yeah. T2 was rated R?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
T2.
That movie seems so tame by comparison to me today. Yeah.
T2 has I mean, you got dude gets a sword through the face when he's drinking milk.
Yeah. Maybe it's just because my brain was poisoned by T2 and T1 and movies like that when I was young. So
yeah, I saw that. Thank you. Good news, very good news, and also apparently for actually child images that he had apparently had. And look,
yeah, we talked about this earlier on the stream. You can skip back to it if you want to.
People, chuds especially, they love to be like, oh, well, just because somebody's charged with something. Generally speaking, if charges are filed, and this is not me saying that this is the system is good or whatever, but like when we're talking about serious charges, those are the types of things that can land a Justice Department or a police, you know, organization some serious lawsuits if they fucked up something like that, right?
Yeah.
They generally don't. That's what a grand jury is. If you ever heard of grand jury and what that means, for instance, I had to testify in front of a grand jury last year for the dude that was beating his dogs that lived in my apartment complex and then pulled a gun on me when I, you know, said something about it. You go in there, a witness goes, and they go in there and they sit in front of, I think it was like 8-10 people or something like that. And I had to tell them exactly what happened and be as plain and not use, you know, colored language or opinion as much as possible. Just here's what happened, right? And then they look at a bunch of examples of that, whether it's witnesses or just information, and then all of those people have to decide that this is something that we can actually probably convict this person on if it goes to trial, or not. Right. So when somebody gets arrested for something like this shit, that the Tates are, you could be pretty confident they've got some real fucking evidence. Like, it's not something that just gets thrown around willy nilly, generally speaking.
Yeah. Charges filed is not the same as arrested for, right? Somebody's arrested, or, you know, even worse, just like killed in the street by a cop, right?
Suspected of is
suspected of, yeah. Like, that's why, like, I've had, before my mom passed, I used to argue with her all the time that if you take the principle of innocent until proven guilty seriously, you should never, ever believe what the police are saying on the news.
Yep.
Ever. Always assume they're lying. And yet, when it gets as far as somebody being charged with a crime, when it's gone before a grand jury, that's different. You can have a different opinion then. But before then, assume that cops are lying.
Some fuckers would always defend some man who's been accused of, in some cases, somewhat understandably, justifiably, or, hey, well, he hasn't been convicted of anything. Okay, fair enough. I still think that, anyway, but those same people will then turn around, and as soon as, a black person is arrested for something, for example, if someone has been arrested a few times, that means it's okay to, put your knee on his throat and kill him in the middle of the street. Right.
Yeah.
That's how they see things. So anyway, oh man, my fucking Lebowski rug mouse pad is starting to come frayed on the tassels there. Shit.
That's just like your opinion, man.
It really ties my desk together, though.
That is just your opinion, man.
No, it's fact. This is actually the second one I've had because the first one I spilled on it and it got stained. But I think I'm going to go ahead and commit to having one of these mouse pads the rest of my days because I love it. So, yep. On that note, anything you wanted to say or promote?
Not at this time.
Okay, fine. That's your one shot. That's all you had. Now it's gone. No. Make sure I've got a good clip here to end on. Man, I realized that one short that I showed last night was pretty awesome. I forgot how cool that was. The one about Nerdrotic, where it's animated me and Turf Nation.
Nerdrotic, but yes.
Yes. Where I said, he's been grooming his beard better. Does a pretty good job grooming his Star Wars theory. Good stuff. All right. Yeah, I forgot to link the donation thing. That's okay. I'll link it tomorrow. So I'm not trying to aggressively push at it because we're close enough that I don't want to be too much of a beggar about it. Here we go, folks. Let's learn something about forced normalcy, I guess this is what you call this. Peace out.
For over 20 years, actor Danny Glover tried desperately to get a movie about the Haitian Revolution made in Hollywood. He went to every major studio. He went to studios in Europe, and he was denied funding at every turn. And the reason they gave was that there were no white heroes in the story, so they weren't going to make it. The Hollywood mandate that every big-budget movie made for a general audience must have at least one sympathetic white character for white audiences to identify with has been around forever, since the beginning of Hollywood. When I think about movies like The Green Book, you've got The Help, 12 Years a Slave, Amistad. I mean, the list goes on and on. Even Black Panther has this character who is a CIA agent but is in favor of black liberation. Like, ridiculous. I really enjoyed Hidden Figures. I think it's a great movie, but this guy, played by Kevin Costner, he never existed. They made him up for the movie. Everybody else is based on a real person, but not him. So that whole scene where he goes and smashes the sign, the white-only sign on the bathroom, never happened.
We made it up. It never happened. This one was invented by a writer.
It's all there to make white people like me feel slightly better about the history of racism in this country. We can sort of self-insert. We can go, oh, I would have done that too.
No more white restrooms.
There's a cardinal rule in any system that is white identified, and that is that you are never allowed to make white people feel uncomfortable in relation to their own whiteness. That is not allowed. I think it was James Baldwin who once said that being white means never having to think about it. And in Hollywood, if you make a movie about black liberation that doesn't include a sympathetic white character, it might make white audiences feel a little bit uncomfortable about their whiteness. They might leave the theater having to self-reflect on our own history in this country.
Can't we just, for one night, just all be family?
It's incredibly, shockingly rare to have a movie that is made for a general audience that's about race or racism, but doesn't include a sympathetic white character. And that's one of the reasons why Sinners was such a big deal. There's no sympathetic white hero in this movie at all, and yet it did really well. But you can count on your hands, like the number of movies that do that. You've got Get Out, Moonlight, Sorry to Bother You. I mean, there are very, very few. And the truth is that being made to feel uncomfortable in relation to white supremacy is a really important thing for white folks like me. Like, being made to feel uncomfortable is a critical step in learning how to challenge those systems, how to become anti-racist. It's a story for another day, but I will personally be eternally grateful for all the folks in my life who dared to make me feel uncomfortable. It wasn't their job, but they showed incredible grace and patience, and I'm a better person today because I was made to feel uncomfortable back then. So we need more movies that make white people feel uncomfortable in relation to their own whiteness. Not just one about the Haitian Revolution, which we definitely need. We also need movies about other forms of black liberation, other forms of indigenous liberation. And none of them need to have sympathetic white characters.